And we are live. Hey
We're
guys.
live.
I want to thank my buddy Manly Reloaded for joining me here
Yeah.
tonight. I want to thank you guys all for being here. See, we have Fabian in the chat, MGTOW Outlaw, Super Steve is in the chat. Thanks for coming, guys. So a couple of the topics we're going to cover here tonight are, part of the craziness that's been going on, but also the conditioning, as I've been talking about in the last few streams, of how we got here. And we're going to play a couple videos. One is from a longtime officer of the Canadian military here in Canada, and his opinions on how things are going. If you haven't been caught up to date, the U.S. president, Mr. Biden, has offered to use military force if the Canadians require it. And today,
What?
yeah,
Oh
t-
shit! It's
today,
kicking off.
oh, it's kicking off today in I believe it's Mission or Milk River. I cannot remember which one. They did have a police line formed, and they are trying to push the protesters back. And military troops started showing up this morning. So, hey, Mr. Riggs. So yeah, that's all about the kickoff. Bloody Sunday, I think, is definitely coming around the corner. We don't know which Sunday it's going to happen on, but it's definitely going to happen.
Bloody
And
Sunday! I like the sound of that.
well, Bloody Sunday 2.0, because we've
Yeah.
already had a Bloody Sunday. Um, yeah. Well, you're British. I'm Irish, so you guys did it.
We always do it, man. Bloody we
Yeah,
fucking tyrants.
you are a bunch of tyrants, you bastards. How dare you attack us
Hey,
innocent Irish people?
I was dragged over here. My ancestors was, man. It's not my fault.
Oh, well, I suppose we'll let that one slide for you. Just for you, though. I'm pretty
Oh, I
sure. Is,
appreciate it.
is Billy the Goat Scottish? No.
No.
No, he's full Brit, right?
No,
Are you
he's
sure?
a no. He's got Filipino in him.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, then it's still his ancestors' fault. We got to blame Billy because he ain't here. So, yeah, like I was saying, that's all on schedule. And we've seen what Justin Trudeau and fucking fat crackhead from Ottawa has essentially stated they're willing to do. They want to lay down harsh fines, and they have threatened to use force if necessary. So obviously we're not dealing with a democracy anymore, and that's very obvious. And we haven't been dealing with one for a long time. The
Mm-hmm.
conditioning that's led us here has all been little steps, but now that extreme step was taken with these lies that have been coming out in the media, the censorship of going against that media's essentially organized narrative of how COVID has been. Um, that's all coming down, and there's nothing they can do to stop it. It's out in the open now. You
Yeah,
know.
I look, everyone all around the world starting to drop the mandates now, just because
Yes,
it is Canadian. Is it in Poland as well? Was the protesting?
dude, it's
Am I
all
right in
over.
that?
Bolivia,
Mm,
Spain, France, I think Holland.
oh, I haven't kept up to date, man. Bloody hell, it's spreading.
Dude, the list of people or countries that are joining the basically tear down of these mandates and the restrictions has grown exponentially. There's like 50 or 60 different countries on there right
Mm.
now.
Well, we don't have no problem with that because our PM is trying to save his skin, so he dropped the mandates a couple of weeks back.
And that's something we covered on a stream last week with One Fast Act.
Mm.
And then his channel got nuked. We covered the exact same thing on my stream the other night. And although it was held for about 4 or 5 hours, it still went through. So it's still up. but we used the UK's report from the UK medical office, and we just read out the text that went with it with the report, right? We didn't actually go over page by page of this report. And the things that were stated in it is exactly what we are seeing. Not what the media is reporting, but what we are seeing with our own
Mhm.
eyes.
Nothing really.
And
It's
it's
pandemic and there's nothing. I haven't seen no
yeah,
dead bodies or anything.
where are those dead bodies? But like I said,
Yeah.
the reason we've gone down this road the last 40 years, and the reason I've listed it as the dominoes, is because these were steps. Now, they might not have been planned out perfectly. They might not have said, well, we'll use this fucking fake virus from in 40 years to do whatever we want and lock people down, or, completely destroy our economy so that the government becomes the dependent of everyone.
Mhm.
But the game plan of conditioning people to get here, that is a step-by-step program, and it's all been laid out. It's been laid out for like 70 years.
Well, have you heard of the documentary called Vaxxed? And there's a Vaxxed 2 out as well.
No, I haven't.
Well, if go everybody out there, just go Google it, Vaxxed. I hope that there's a clip in there which explains that they can make these viruses for about 3-4p. So
Hmm.
I strongly believe that these viruses do exist and they are manufacturing them. That's my
Well, I
opinion.
don't see now. That's where a lot of people get this wrong. I believe the virus, it's real. Absolutely. SARS is a real virus. So is MERS. So is COVID-19.
That's if you're not a Dr. Sebi fan,
Yeah,
obviously.
obviously. But like they exist, but the clout around them and their hazards, they don't exist. This is all manufactured.
Yeah, of course.
I want to give a shout out to D-Man50. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Jody, man.
And it's all part of the tools they use to control. I mean, we have all said that we live in a Western society where it's a first world country and we live free. We do not live free.
No.
We haven't lived free in 50, 60 years.
The moment you submit to an authority, you are not free because
Exactly.
they dictate your boundaries.
Exactly. And that's these boundaries that are put in place. We're
Hmm.
not talking the rules of nature, or, the rules of
Natural
religion,
law. Yeah.
natural law. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
not talking about that. Like, yes, if I do something cruel to you, that goes against natural law,
Hmm.
right? Or God's law, whatever you decide to
Yeah.
believe in. Hey, Trinity MGTOW, thanks for being here, buddy. Yes, essentially we are free slaves. But we're not talking about those natural laws. We're talking government inflicted laws. I mean, right now, here in Canada, they have broken at least 50 of their own fucking laws. Laws set up by government to say that we have to follow, but now clearly they don't have to follow.
And the police are the ones who have to enforce these laws, and they're not. They're just following the orders of their masters.
Exactly. But still, like, despite about like 40% of Ontario's police force stepping down and telling their bosses, we're not fucking gonna do this, go fuck yourself, right? And despite the Canadian military telling Justin Trudeau last week when he asked for military reinforcement that it wasn't their problem and he can go fuck himself.
Seriously, they told him it wasn't their problem.
It wasn't their problem. That's what they told him. They were like, this is not our problem.
Oh,
Now, here's the thing. That was their
awesome.
commander. No, well, that was their commander at the time, right? This week, they could appoint someone else and it'll be a different story, just like what happened to the police chief of Ottawa, right? He didn't mind coming out a week after and saying, yeah, they're all terrorists. They're all, it's
Mhm.
an illegal protest,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah.
I watched
If
all the videos on Hidden, man. It was absolutely insane.
wasn't it?
It's crazy.
Yeah. And we're seeing this escalate everywhere. Like I said, right now with Biden willing to send military support to the Canadian border to back up Justin Trudeau and crackhead. I can't remember his name because he's crackhead who, has been running, I believe, well, not Ottawa, it's could be Manitoba. No, sorry, not Manitoba. One of the other eastern places, the very liberal places. Um, he's essentially broken all of his own rules that he laid out because he was always getting airtime, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
So
Well, wouldn't you?
yeah, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
When these mandates first came out and they were having stay home orders and things of that nature, he's on there putting out commercials about how you should just stay home and not go visit your family for the holidays and make
Mm.
cherry pie, while him, his daughter, and everyone else went on their own vacations and traveled all over.
Well, he had his American pie.
Yeah, I guess. Hey, Hemi, I won't block you tonight. Promise. Thanks for coming. But yeah, and right now, like I stated, we don't live in anything that is even remotely close to a free society. Because if there is one set of rules for them and one set of rules for us, then that's a dictatorship. Who makes these rules? They do. Who makes exemption clauses so that when they commit an act against the people, that they get to walk away? They do. But that's a dictatorship. If I make rules that are only for me and my side, but you have to follow a whole different set, that's a dictatorship. There's no difference between Justin Trudeau and the Kims of North Korea. Not a goddamn bit.
But there's a difference between them and the police forces, and that's where the compartmentalization of
Yes.
the group thing comes in, because then you got like the police, and then above them you got the uh, the business owners, and above them you got the politicians, and
Yeah.
above them you got the bankers, and and then you got the elite.
Everything is a control step down,
And the
right?
media have spat that in there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, look at our media. Our media
Mhm.
here this past month have been caught red-handed, live. Live.
Well, they've been caught red-handed since 9/11, man.
Yes, but they've been caught here live. Like now that everybody has a fucking cell phone
Hmm.
in their hands, they're
Yeah.
basically all
Oh,
journalists,
yeah. Big
right?
time.
This is not something like this isn't Nazi Germany where we can print today's news
Well,
that's written by us and it'll spread
yeah.
around by the end of the week and that's what everybody believes. No. I can look up what you're saying right now and
Well,
have somebody behind you
you
telling the
say,
truth.
sorry to interrupt, but you saying that's in Germany. I've got to say this before I forget. Like, the normal food stores around my area now, they're not hiring private security guards, and I
Hmm.
actually had one follow me around, and I was holding these boxes, and I could put these chips on the boxes. She was, "Do you want a basket?" But what she was really doing, she's following me around. But because she offered me the basket, I was keeping my eye on her, and she followed me all the way. There was about like 30 people in the shop, but she was following me. You know,
Yeah.
so it's getting like it is gonna get Nazi Germany, and I think it's not gonna be the governments. I reckon, because I reckon the governments are gonna collapse. So it's these corporations that are moving that we're gonna be worried about.
Well, they have no choice but to collapse under this certain
Hmm.
strain, right? But losing control is what's happening right now. They've lost control of the narrative. The lie is out there, right? And it's obviously a lie.
But the media
No,
and the governments, but the elite haven't lost control.
no,
But
the elite haven't lost control.
no,
That's why
no,
other things don't affect them.
yeah, of course.
Hidden MGTOW. Welcome
Hello,
to
hello, what's going on?
Hello,
Hey,
sir.
brother.
I was just watching a bunch of the convoy stuff, and then I saw your live popped up, and you were watching the same thing. So I was like, yeah, I may as well come in and watch with you guys.
Absolutely. And I wanted to get to this a little bit later, but I mean, to point out the levels of control that have gotten to where we are today and the dominoes that need to fall, it doesn't need to end here. with the exposure of, yes, our main politicians and, the freedom against the people. That's not where this started. This is where it ended. It's just like Nazi Germany didn't pop up overnight and just, literally commit millions of acts
Mm,
against humanity,
yeah.
right? That didn't happen right away. There was steps taken to get to where they were. And yes, we can say it goes back to, the assassination of a foreign leader, things like that. Absolutely. But after World War One, the conditioning to put the potential to put a dictator like Adolf Hitler in power was being set. The
The economic collapse, yeah.
Yeah, the economic collapse. And I mean, when it comes to the demasculation of men in the Western world or in most first world countries,
Well, you got Weimar as well. That was the demasculation and the masculine influence of women.
absolutely. We had feminists that came in and started screaming and bitching. Holy crap. And we are being joined by Billy the Goat. Welcome, sir. Your first time. Welcome,
Oh,
Billy.
go gentle on me. How's
Oh,
everyone?
it's like an impromptu live Four Horsemen all of a sudden.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here we go, man.
We could see, Manly, we could totally have done that.
No, we've got the option's still there, but you'd
Yeah,
have to go
well,
see it on BitChute and MigTay TV though, because it can't be on YouTube. Well, it can be actually. I'll put it on my backup.
well,
Yeah.
Screw Susan.
I'm definitely looking to start uploading to Rumble, so I've got almost all that set up.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I'm looking at Odyssey, man. That's looking juicy.
Have
Well-
you guys heard of You Now?
I
No,
have not.
Okay, I signed up to that, I think about probably like a month ago or something, and I didn't really understand it. And I went back to it just the other day and looked at it, and it's telling me that I'm able to live stream. So I was like, oh.
you
So
know. Okay.
It's like a live stream website that if you're on the free platform, it will not save the stream. So you get to stream there, but then the stream disappears when you're done.
Oh,
It's just an
okay.
OBS record, it can't you?
Yeah,
Hey, Too Fast Act has joined the chat.
and
Welcome,
there's all
buddy.
kinds of like gold bars and stuff that people can give you, and it promotes you and stuff. It looks like people are getting pretty decent views over there. So
Awesome.
it's just something to check out
Okay.
anyway. It looks like it's a younger website. Like people on it are younger, like probably late teens.
I checked BitChute's funding the other day, right? In over
Yeah.
a year, in over a year, they've only moved 0.3, which is a shame, man. I mean, that's
Well-
bad marketing, that is.
BitChute was a great idea, but unfortunately, they couldn't get their shit together to make a decent app. It's just like MGTOW.tv. They
Yeah,
they they
but
built
when
a
it-
platform,
Yeah.
and then their app fucking doesn't work. Well, all these other places like Odyssey and stuff, they need to get with the times and actually make an app that works. You know,
I don't. That's partly the problem. You're correct, but the biggest problem is actually servers and bits rates. You know, because as more people join, more people are watching the videos, and even as the awareness of the site gets bigger, people who are not even subscribed are watching, as
Yeah.
people posting links, right? And that's using servers. Was it bit rate, and it's consuming
Well,
money.
The question
That
is,
costs money.
how does it make money?
BitChute donations, and I think it's only
So
at
it's
60.
donations.
Yeah, it's 76% full at the moment. So I don't
Yeah.
know where the rest of the funding is coming from.
Because
Well, I
anytime I
think-
go to those places, I feel like I get like my computer just bogs right down, like it's turned into a Bitcoin miner or some shit.
yeah. Well, they were looking
Well,
to
yeah.
do ads as well.
Well, when you're
Right.
when you're on BitChute, you're actually hosting the video you're watching. So it's peer to peer. So you're sharing the video you're watching.
So what happens if my computer is offline? How do people watch my video? Where
Oh
is
no,
it?
it's on alternative servers as well. But you just help the system.
Yeah. Well, either way, guys, that's something we can definitely discuss later. I kind of wanted to get into the meat and potatoes of why we're here. Hey, my red my man, thanks for coming, buddy. And Amanda Lode and I were just talking about in Discord of, a few of the topics that I wanted to touch on, which was obviously how we got here, how we got so little control over our lives now, how the government has so much control. And one of those big building blocks is how addiction is running away in our countries. In these first world countries, we have addiction problems literally everywhere.
Yeah.
There's no safe haven anymore where there isn't a city that isn't affected by it. A city, town, doesn't matter. You know,
It's what they give us to cope.
And I can go deeper into the standard addiction, like addictions like caffeine, coffee,
Hey,
deodorants. You know, that's
They
addiction.
know that
Phones,
we're not built
it's
to be
vicious.
like an ant, and
no.
so they give us the things that we need to cope, and some people just go solely for the cope, and they end up hopelessly addicted and shit.
Well, before a manly load goes attacking my fucking coffee addiction,
Ah, man, I got
stay
two big
away.
extra large Tim Hortons here, so you can't come at me, man. Don't.
Amen, brother.
Now everyone's got their own path, man. So I'm
Well,
just saying,
well,
it
we
is what it
do.
is, man. You can't change the truth.
Me,
Well,
it's blunts
it
and coffee, bro.
we do, but I mean, at the same time, let's look at what the government is pushing on us right now with the
Yeah, of
fucking
course. Yeah.
vaccine, right?
Mhm.
It was only a few years ago that nobody had ever heard of fentanyl, and then it was prescribed to everybody, just like how Oxycontin's exploded. And this is a this
Well,
is
it
a
was the
rinse and
replacement,
repeat.
right?
Yeah, well, it's a rinse and
Yeah.
repeat, right? We see it.
Oxycontin, people got addicted, and they're like, "Oh, there's an explosion in addiction. Let's get something else. Oh, here's fentanyl. It's twice the addictiveness. Here you go, and it's lethal."
Yeah, and at the same time, the government did nothing to regulate it. Not a fucking thing.
Well, they were
Doctors were
hoping people
writing
would
out
die.
yeah, doctors would writing out prescription for OxyContin like it was fucking going out of style. You know what I mean? And they were just trying to offload their old fucking baggage. But they
Marxists
allowed,
hate those people, though.
yeah, but they allowed that shit to happen.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, you know how the people were addicted to the opiates?
Yeah.
Well, they bring out the fentanyl to replace it because fentanyl will kill you.
Well,
So they're trying to get rid of their addicts quick.
not only that, but they get to regulate it then, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Same with pot.
most illegal drugs that are listed as illegal weren't regulated. And that was the only reason they didn't fucking legalize it in most places. Now that
Even
we've
though behind the scenes they actually do regulate it by they're the actually ones letting it in.
well, we've all heard of the operations the CIA did in the
Yeah,
South, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
We heard about
red-handed.
that plane that got shot down, and there's found loads of drugs in it.
Yeah.
Uh,
So, I mean, they allow these things to happen. And it's just like the feminist movement. When they allowed that to take over, it's like, hey, we can use this to help divide people more. Now, I'm sure they couldn't predict how well it would work, but they also did other things to kind of add to the problems, right? I want to give a big shout out to Howard Dare, who's in the channel. Drop your link, brother. This guy's got some good shit if you don't know who he is.
They were
And
appealing to the basis of,
right,
of humanity with greed.
with greed, and it works so well. I mean, they
pride.
they understood the nature of basically people in society or in their societies on what they would fall for when it came to bait. They knew what people would fall for the hardest, and then they helped coax it along. We Not that I have any problem with anybody, no matter your gender or race, living free. Absolutely. Fucking more power to you. And what you do in your own time, as long as it harms no one else, more power to you. Right? Um, but when they allow something like feminism to take over, and I've got a great video here from Janice Fiamingo and Studio Burley, who is now Studio B, I believe, because they got suspended as well. They point out how this was used as a tool. And to help push that along even further, family courts were built into this, right? And in the I believe it was late 50s to mid 60s, they really did a switch up when it came to who would get custody of children and what a family court was all about.
So like it's a parallel system.
Yes, they're all running together
It's not a
to
legal
come.
court.
No, and it isn't. Like right now, if you look over, and I pulled it up the other day, if you look over in your area when it comes to social services and what they put out through the government, right? Because it's a government funded agency. So it's all linked to your like .govs. Child Support Collections Agency or Enforcement Agency, whatever they want to call themselves, and what the government lists based on these programs for their own kind of like their own platforms information, you'll see very conflicting points of view and basically where things come from, where they get regulated under. Like one could be regulated under civil acts because each state is basically kind of got their own written out, but yet others are regulated under federal acts, right?
Yeah.
So they're playing both sides of the game here. But when it came to simple, what you would call simple logical points of view, like let's talk about custody. Well, that's different for men and women. One is covered under federal, the other one's covered under provincial. So one is like an actual crime against your government essentially, and the other one isn't. The other one's just like, well, you know, you end up in a drunk tank, and the other side is you end up with a fucking noose around your neck.
Yeah.
And that's split between men and women. So, like I said, everybody's is a bit different. Look up yours. If you haven't had kids and you're thinking about it, go look yours up first, because you know, there's a lot of discrepancies right there, and you know, it kind of goes head and head with how feminism came in and essentially said you can have all these rights and freedoms, and you're going to have no consequences. But if he gets involved with you, now the consequences are dire, right? Now he's looking at facing long-term effects. So, you know, the hypocrisy doesn't end in one spot, and all of that was part of conditioning to weaken society. It's why they've asked so many people in so many countries to hand over their weapons. And it's why right now in the United States and here in Canada, the rights to bear arms, which is actually only in the United States, we don't have that right here in Canada.
Unless you're
It's,
Aboriginal.
yeah, it's, well, you have to be an Aboriginal essentially to actually have gun rights. And that was another one.
Mm-hmm.
But to give them up was a part of this conditioning. And anyone that has given them up is fucked. Right now, we are seeing this kick off. Every country in the world right now has civil war on their tongues live on TV. They're talking about it in one way or another, right? So the fact that this could kick off at any day.
Well, there's trucker convoys happening all over the world now, and there's governments that are like, what do we do with this?
Well, we've seen what Australia is willing to do. They just go in and fucking muscle them out because nobody there is potentially armed. Here in Canada, they're a little more hesitant because they know the citizens could be packing heat and could shoot back.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still rolling in military right now. So,
well, the other problem they're facing is that they're getting a lot of people that are straight up saying they're not going to do that shit. Like,
yes.
As soon as they get an order, they're just going to turn around and walk the other way. So
yeah, they are.
They're going to have desertion on their hands as well.
This gentleman that's going to be on this video we're going to play here in a moment is now, every government who has followed along with this COVID thing and this conditioning for the citizens, he is now enemy number one. Not because of who he is and not because of the fact that he's it's simply the fact that the idea that he has for what freedom is is the dangerous part. And he's actually out there saying it. That makes him the new enemy. And if you guys, well, I'm sure anybody else want to weigh in on this before I kind of start this up, because Billy, you haven't even had a chance to say hello.
Are you saying the enemy of the government, or the enemy, or the someone that's in the government that's the enemy of the people?
Well, the government is the enemy of the people,
Well,
but
yeah.
this guy's ideas are the
Mhm.
enemy of the government,
Okay.
not him.
Yeah.
The enemy.
Yeah.
Billy, say hello.
Yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Hello. Revolt, my leader. Emperor Chris.
Hello, sir.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We're talking about controlling people, and we're
Yeah.
electing in a new tyrant.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. We elected him ages ago. It was pre-planned, like everything is now.
I
Well,
don't know. Do you care for a sort of psychological angle into explanations to some of this buffoonery, or do
is
we
it
already
gonna be
kind of
long?
understand?
I think
Well,
we
knowing
mostly
me, I'll ramble.
Tell
But
you
it
what.
shouldn't be surprising. Like, we're in this sort of generalization of a situation.
No, I
I
don't
mean,
think we should either.
loads of people are beginning. You know, people seeing it, so they might not be able to have the right terminology or put their fingers on the on it exactly to pin it down. But I think there's a general understanding. People are converging to the same kind of conclusion.
Hmm.
Is it a good thing or not? I suspect it can be problematic if people aren't too careful. How so? Because without proper guidance or reflection and things like that, then it kind of opens up the possibility of
Food shortages and stuff.
well, we already talk about people kind of like losing their mind, or there's like a mass psychosis, or there's control. Everyone's trying to take control from us and impinge on our freedoms, etc. But if we're not careful, we'll actually magnify that problem.
Hmm.
Because if people start becoming desperate, this is where the danger will be. When people start becoming desperate, it's like, what do I do about it all? Well, I don't know. I'm gonna hold up a bank and try and take gather resources and finance it, or I'm gonna hold up a shop and start looting or whatever. Then that will further make the problem worse, because the powers that be will look down and be like, you see, it's not us that's losing our minds, it's all the mere peasants that are losing their minds, because now they're off either rioting, looting, killing themselves, or something like that. So
Well, but
we
Billy,
could inadvertently justify their thirst for power.
well, I mean, I hate to interject on that, but we all seen what the summer of love turned into, right? With
Oh yeah, yeah.
BLM. It
I'm not.
doesn't matter what you do. It just matters what side you're on. We've seen Justin Trudeau come out and meet BLM in the street and
Yeah.
take a fucking knee and lick their asshole.
Oh,
Right?
I'm not criticizing like shame on
That's how
people
you
for
know when the
trying.
government's in on it.
But this is like your title for your stream is the dominoes are what, falling, or they're moving, or something like that. Is
The
that
dominoes must fall.
right? So I take it that's kind of like a reference to sort of societal collapse.
Well, the structures that have led to the control over society, those are the ones that need to fall. And that's why I'm bringing up the essentially like the disarmament of the common citizen all over the world. We've seen that happen.
Yeah.
We've seen fathers removed from children's lives to help
Yeah.
lower their masculinity. We've seen masculinity basically become, a hated, unwanted thing.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
all led to control. We've seen women getting favoritized while men are hanging themselves every fucking day.
Oh yeah.
That's why MGTOW exists.
Well, there's going to be I don't want to say like collateral damage or fallout, but something along that kind of lines. It is right what you're saying, that it's inevitable. It must collapse. It's not sustainable. There is no way that this can continue to go on. If I make an analogy, let's say you're running a factory and you've got staff occupying that factory, and you want them all to be obedient, mindless, compliant, slave, zombie, worker bee type people.
A
Your
hospital.
fact, something like but essentially you're trying to turn your employees or the population into mindless. They're not going to fight back. They're going to be compliant. They're not going to be resistant. They're just going to do as they say, and their thinking is shut off. You don't want these people thinking,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
It's not.
critical thinking.
It's not going to succeed because one, that means you got a load of people you need to babysit and literally tell them day by day, step by step, what to do because they're not thinking for themselves. And so it'll grind production or whatever it is they're trying to achieve to a halt.
Mhm.
You do need some free thinking going on, some independent thought to sort of think outside the box, which is what they don't want to happen. So they're kind of suffocating them. They're kind of restricting themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Doug Ford just announced not too long ago that he was speaking with Dr. Moore and he's working on a plan to not use the vax passport. It's like, what?
Oh, please. He's just trying to save his own fucking skin like the rest. And, this is where...
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense.
Well,
if you're saying not use the passport, just say, okay, we're not using the passport.
Like, it doesn't matter.
What do you need to plan?
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
The way that you're going to track people?
Exactly. But these levels of control were, like, I keep talking about Polyovsky or whatever his name is there, the one who's now running for Prime Minister of Canada. Not that I don't... Yeah, Polyev. Not that I don't agree with things that he's said over the years, and he has tried to stand up to them. But to be honest with you, he's no different than every other turncoat that's out there. Like with the guy in Alberta.
But he's in a shit party.
Well, he's still part of the party. He still wants the exact same controls.
That's what I'm saying.
But he's willing to say, I wasn't a part of this. Vote for me now because I'll be different. No, you won't. You're all traitors to the fucking race.
Well, they were all letting him put that show on for the last 2 years that he was the only one fighting for them and stuff.
But they're all traitors to the people. If Polyovsky was anything different than Justin Trudeau, he would have been out there fucking leading these people that are out there protesting right now. He would not be turncoating like the fuckhead in Alberta.
You know,
and I don't know his name.
Though.
Yeah,
Maxime Bernier's been there.
Okay, but Maxime Bernier was also toting other lines when it worked for him. He just stepped out really early. He was in the
Conservatives and he got kicked out.
Yeah, but he was still towing their lines. He's still towing their fucking control lines today. If you gave him a chance...
Oh, I've never heard that. He's been against all this shit since day one.
He's been against the COVID shit. This isn't the one we're after. This is the end game. But we want to go back. Go back to the other fucking things that they used to control us, to get us where we are today. Let's go to the people who were against, removing dads from children's lives. Let's go to the people who were out there trying to say that masculinity is literally what built this fucking society. It's the reason we have the freedoms we have. Right? Not
lost
COVID.
The media, so you're definitely going to lose the narrative.
Absolutely. But at the same time, we live in an age where, like I said, it's not newspapers anymore.
Well, exactly.
Or leaflets.
That's what's changed.
Yeah, they should have been using it.
That's why MGTOW's getting so big.
Well,
that's with the age of the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're trying to shut it down everywhere we go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? YouTube used to be a free speech platform.
It's a natural progression for a lot of people to end up that way. So there's nothing. It's not the media that makes people MGTOW.
No, I don't believe
it's life in general that gets them into that situation. So unless life itself changes, the media is irrelevant.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's also what's allowed laws to be changed in the way that they are by pushing a narrative saying this is the right way to go.
And you
Nobody's
could,
ever looked at it.
Well, you'd have to look at how China did it, because that China's been the ones that have been successful at doing all this shit, because that's who we're all being modeled under now.
And that's why Justin Trudeau loves the Chinese dictatorship.
Yeah, so you're gonna end up with like a 1 or 2 child policy where people are being forced to marry each other and have kids and shit.
I'm not sure.
But that's only if they need people, and they don't need people yet. That's way off in the future.
They'll have to do that. They will have to do that, because if you look at the birth rates, I made a video on this. It's in absolute complete collapse.
It is.
In 20 years' time, there'll be hardly any kids anywhere.
Hey, Rebel Against Defeat. Thanks for being here, buddy. Where is it that Holland or somewhere they've literally put out like news reports and fucking programs to try to convince the local men to reproduce with local women, because they've gone for foreign women because their local one is so fucking feminized, and it's such a dictatorship of feminists running the fucking country that they don't want to deal with it. Is that where it was? Holland, or maybe it was Greenland or something? Anybody remember?
I didn't hear that one.
Yeah, dude. They're going to other countries to pick up foreign women because they want to have normal lives with not feminists,
and which country
but
is this?
Feminine women. I wanted to say it was either Holland or Greenland or Iceland, one of those three. But they're literally like putting out campaigns to try to convince local men to have local women as wives.
They're like getting Russian mail order brides, bringing them back to Finland.
Well, apparently it's the Asians, so they're going to like the Philippines and places like that. But yeah, their birth population, because they went turbo fucking feminist. Right, turbo feminist.
Well, that doesn't help your birth rate.
No, and I mean Spain has gone that way as well, to where if you cough in the wrong direction of a woman, you can end up in jail, and she can end up owning your house. You don't go into the court to proclaim your innocence. You go in, and the first thing they ask, are you willing to accept your guilt? Because you're going to be guilty at the end of this. Are you ready to accept it?
Is that why you think they've got all these like caravans of like people,
of
men
migrants?
From like, yeah, exactly, men from Africa and stuff? They're like, maybe these guys will marry our women.
Yeah, maybe, but it isn't going well, is it? But I mean that's part of the conditioning that they tried to push on people, right? And now because nobody wants to accept it, yes, birth rates have gone down, marriage rates have gone down, yet divorce rates have gone up, which is fucking weird. I guess it's what's left,
Well, it was their way of getting the money out of the men in the first place.
Well, exactly. And if you look into, like I stated, your local fucking setup for the family courts, the child support agencies, or maintenance, they're called here, right? We call it child maintenance, and the
they
social
call it
services.
Children's Aid.
Yes,
Children's Aid Society.
Well, Children's Aid, I thought it was for social services.
Children's Aid is like they're the ones that'll like take your kids away and then make them wards of the state.
Yeah, that's social services.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you look into how
what
they
a nice
set
name,
up,
they're aiding children.
Yeah. Well, if you look into how they set those things up, they're all together in the same fucking cluster.
Oh yeah.
And they all switch the law around for each sex depending on what they want to do to who. And it's a complete one-sided fucking thing. She can do whatever she wants and walk away. If a guy was late, for even 1 minute late, returning a child after court-appointed custody time, that's a federal offense. If she's late, that's a local matter. So that's something you have to go back to family court and fucking bitch about if you want anything, or if she just denies access. But if he's late, that's kidnapping.
I
And
just
yeah,
watched a video the other day of it was like a dad driving his vehicle, and his daughter was in the car seat behind him. And then on the bottom it said that every time we hit this turn, she realizes she's got to go back home to her mom,
yeah,
and she starts crying. And then it shows the kid just start crying as soon as he makes the turn.
yeah.
He's
Kids
like,
need
"It's
their
killing
dads,
me."
man. Kids need. Well, we've seen a video that came out a couple years ago now of the young kid was. He's like 14 or 15. He's not a kid, and he's sitting in his dad's truck, telling his mom he doesn't want to go back with her. Right? If that dad had said, you know what, he doesn't want to come back, you have a problem with it, we'll see you in court. Right? If he had driven away, that would have been kidnapping, and he most likely would have been gunned down in the fucking street. But if that mom had did the same thing, no problem.
No,
You,
he would have been gunned down and shot in the street again.
he would. No, yeah, well, yeah, they might have shot it. They might have shot him in the street too. But that's generally how it goes. And last week we had Eric Zombro on. Oh, by the way, big happy birthday to Eric. It was yesterday. He had his birthday. So happy birthday to him. But he's a former police officer. And he stated anytime we go to kind of a domestic disturbance, whether it's about, custody or visiting time or anything, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the guy in handcuffs. Even if she's the aggressor, we're going to put him in handcuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely he's going to jail.
That's
Or at
most
least,
cases, yeah.
yeah, that's the normal. No matter what she does, we're not going there to put handcuffs on her. We're not going to walk into the situation, and unless there's a body, right? And she's the only one standing over it, we're not going there to put handcuffs on her. We're going to put handcuffs on him. So how the fuck are we supposed to function as a team when it comes to men and women when the law is completely on only one person's side? We can't come
I
together
think
as
that's
parents.
the problem, is that parents were never looked at equally. And I think that mothers are supposed to be the nurture and fathers are supposed to be the nature. And when you take away the fathers, you leave the mother holding the bag as both nurture and nature. And most times she's doing the dominant male part of the stuff. So she ends up just doing nature on the kid.
Well, that's just it, though.
And so the kid doesn't get a balance.
It's why we have so many people right now that are growing up don't even know their own fucking gender. They're so easily brainwashed and so easily influenced. It's why kids go into gangs. It's why they go for the bad influences that seek them out.
Mm-hmm.
They're always a presence. They just wander around the streets, and people are, these young kids who have no role models say, hey, that looks like a good idea. I'll hang out with them. They're cool. They'll accept me. They'll show me the ropes.
Here's some cocaine.
Here's some cocaine. All leads down to the same fucking paths, right? And the government's totally fine with this. Totally fine with this. It's because it's part of the conditioning.
They don't care what quality of life the people have anymore. They just care that they've got the right amount of people to do what they need to do. Yep.
And they can keep everyone else nice and docile. Right? By the time a man realizes that getting married is the fucking worst thing he can do for himself, he's already married.
It's already 10 years in.
Yeah, and he's now married to the state. Right? Yeah, exactly. I love you so much that I got the law involved. Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what women do.
You've merged companies, so you've become one entity. So, but when that's split, they regard you as not part of it anymore. So they theoretically they want the woman to have it all. Well, that's because it's against human rights. They just can't get away with it.
Well, I mean, human rights violations against fathers have been done for fucking 30 years straight.
Well, it's not really the fathers; it's the children. The human rights, it's the children. It's
well, of course, and they are the ones.
We're all
they're the
somebody's
ones that
child.
yeah, and they're the ones that always lose. In the end, they lose.
They
Mom
inherit
doesn't
the
win.
earth, man.
Yeah, mom doesn't win. The government can't say they win because only one person loses, and that's the kids that come up in the end. You know,
And then
we've
when the
seen,
kids leave, the mom turns into the cat lady.
yeah, and then they wonder why their children want nothing to do with them when they find out. Like when my kids find out that their dad is not their enemy because what their mom and everyone else around them has told them is a fucking huge lie. Do you think they're going to go back to these people that they know are liars and say, yeah, I appreciate you doing everything you did? Fuck no. They're going to
Well,
walk away and say, you know what? Screw you. Die alone.
it's more of a slower burn, though, isn't it? Because once you've highlighted these issues, they go back, ignore it, but then they start seeing the flags, and it builds up over time, doesn't it?
Hmm?
And then something dramatic happens, and then that's just the cherry on the cake,
Well, but
It's
and then you
like
snap, don't you?
it's the same with abusive relationship dynamics. I mean, if they're dependent in some way, like they're trying, or if the victim is wanting their financial, they're dependent financially, or they're waiting on an inheritance or something like that, then they're going to stay for the abuse. But if there is really nothing to gain, then more likely the person abused, once they've woken up and realized it, will not see the benefit of being there. And like you were saying, like if they're not being seen and not being validated and not being shown love and care and things like this, then more likely they'll join gangs and find it elsewhere.
absolutely. And what do you usually find with gangs? Drugs, right?
Cocaine. Here's
Well,
some cocaine.
what did the
Is it
gang?
cocaine?
Well, but what did the gang provide? It's a sense of family. It's a sense of love,
Absolutely.
even though it's
Shelter.
false and it's not the case. I mean, this is why lots of gangs, if you notice, they're youngster, juvenile sort of. It's a popular time for members to join is in their
Yeah,
youth, just at the time when they're trying to get validation from people who supposedly love them, i.e., their parents or mothers or
abs-
whatever. So
absolutely.
there's no coincidence or um, you know, it just so happens. It it makes sense because when you see what the family, you got a young person growing up, they're looking for, they're trying to build themselves up, their sense of self and their esteem, etc., and they're not getting any of that. Then they're obviously going to go elsewhere. If not a gang, they're going to go off into social media or go into other, escapism to fill that void.
Yeah.
And I can hear an echo, but
Or addictions, we
so
throw addictions in there as
or
well.
addiction, right? Exactly, yeah. So or alcohol will go off prostitution as well.
Yes.
Well, look at
So
OnlyFans now. It's never
Those
been
echoes
easier.
are
Exactly.
flashbacks.
right. So it's not just attention seeking. I mean, that attention seeking is a result of not being given attention as they were growing up from their primary caregivers, typically like the
Well,
mother. You know,
as a
or the
father, and when it comes to being a parent, we give our children a sense of love, understanding, and eventually they develop the sense of self. What removing half of that equation does is you have children that grow up to be adults with no sense of self, no sense of self-respect, no sense of
it's
fucking right and wrong. Well, they
yeah,
might
but
know
Chris,
what's right and wrong, but
it's
not.
it's not
Sorry.
even removing half that provider a sense of self. Just because the dad is out of the picture, I mean, is the mother that's left behind building any sense of self? No. So
No, of
that
course
kid,
not.
so that kid is growing up with basically no parent, even though
Essentially.
even though they might be living with their mum, and technically by paperwork, the mum's the caregiver or the primary adult there or whatever. She might as well not be there. If anything, she's probably sabotaging her kid's future and making it that much more worse.
And generally that's what they do. I mean, if you listen to any of my short videos that I did in the car there, I mentioned a buddy of mine that lives right here, right? And his current situation with his soon to be baby mama, this girl used to go out and go to coke parties and sleep with the random guys all over these parties
Here's some
with
cocaine.
her mother, because her mother was no fucking better than she is right now. So mother-daughter teams are like literally, they've been going on for fucking another 30, 40 years.
Oh yeah, the moms use
Right?
the daughters to attract men.
Absolutely. They go to the same parties. And now we've seen this past year in Britain, they also go to the same OnlyFans account, which was fucking disgusting.
Kids go to their
Because,
moms for the drugs, and the moms go to the kids for the men.
yeah. And I mean, if you watch that story of this mother-daughter fucking OnlyFans team, you could see that
What? So that's
yeah,
for a team. I
yeah,
thought
they're a
no.
team on OnlyFans. And like the mother was a good-looking woman in her day, right? And she knows that, but she's
Well,
lost that now because the wall's taken it, right?
well,
Now she's a dirty old bag, willing
well,
to do anything.
so this is where we step into the land of cuckoo bananas. Sorry, no pun there, Manly. But I mean, so why do we see this phenomena? What if the child, and in this case a girl, is growing up with no sense of self? She's an empty shell essentially. Then, and she's not, and this child is still in the custody of this mother and hasn't joined a gang or gone off prostituting or whatever. Then the mother figure has made the daughter an extension
Of herself, yes.
So yeah, so the daughter, in a sense, with no sense of self, doesn't really exist, which is a mind fuck for that kid anyway. But that aside, so the mother, from the mother's point of view, this is fantastic because it's almost like this extension is a younger version of herself. So whatever the daughter does, like achievements, boyfriends, and sleeps around, the mother is claiming this as her own achievement. So even though she's aging and has hit the wall, in some ways, in a psychological way, she has actually body switched. She's exchanged her older years for now this younger, more fertile body, which is her daughter.
Do you think we'll have like a continuation of
So-
it? Like the daughter turns into having a kid and does the same thing, or do you think that she'll
absolutely.
be like, no way, I'm not never
Yeah,
doing that to my
so
kid?
I mean, so on the one hand, we'll see the mother having more childlike mentality. She's not going to reflect her biological age. She's going to more closely reflect the daughter's age. And also, there's that entitlement. So if the daughter has a nice boyfriend or whatever kind of boyfriend, the mother's going to see it as like there's no boundary there. That's her boyfriend as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at what the mother did, though. I mean, when she was young and hot, she went and fucking got knocked up for some random dude, and now this girl grew up with no dad. She's just going to instill the exact same end game because that woman is eventually not going to be good looking enough or young enough to hang out with her daughter and keep up. And
her daughter's going to need a sidekick.
And her daughter is going to use her kid as a sidekick. Exactly. That chain doesn't break. Right? You just allow it to tumble apart. I mean, right now, this my buddy's girlfriend, baby mama, whatever you want to call her, right? Her own mother doesn't agree with the shit she does. And this is the woman that used to go out to those same coke parties. But now she's reformed because now she's looking for a husband, right?
She met Jesus.
Yeah, she might have found Jesus. Yeah, because she's
Too late.
yeah, it only took 59 years for her to realize that what she was doing was fucking her life, but she didn't mind doing it when her daughter was fucking 17 years old.
But
Right?
but that this am I cutting you off there, Chris?
No, go ahead, buddy.
But this perverse relationship, parasitical dynamic between the mother and daughter is basically what we're seeing on the societal level with men included. Because what's going on there? So you've got the mother controlling, sacrificing her daughter, and entitled to whatever the daughter has achieved and property, wealth, or whatever. Basically, and wants the daughter under control, not thinking for themselves. So will be heavily criticizing the daughter and restricting the daughter and suffocating that child, which is basically what's happening to men. So, so
Women are sucking the life out of everybody.
Well,
yeah. So men's assets, men's inheritage, their wealth, their jobs, every aspect doesn't belong to men anymore. They don't want it to belong to men anymore. They want it to belong to them. Them being either the women of the society or the more elitists.
Well, that's why the government setups that they have work so well with the modern woman right now. Until they get to a certain age where no guy wants anything to do with them. Now it's the clock ticked the fuck out. You timed out, and the longest relationship you've had has lasted 2 fucking years, and nobody wants to wife you up, let alone mother you up, right? And and then they're still, it's the men's fault for not stopping me, I guess. I don't know. It's not because of anything they didn't do. Where have all the good men gone? They're literally all around you, and they want nothing to do with you.
Yeah, exactly the same kind of phrasing that the abusive mother will say to the daughter, like you've ruined my life. I wish you weren't born. You've ruined my life. How dare you have your independence? You make my life misery and hell, or something like this. My life is so hard because I have to be your mother, or something like that.
Absolutely.
So where have all the good children gone? Why couldn't you have been one of the better childs?
Well, okay.
I've heard all of them, man.
Yeah.
How bad is that? And I've heard every one of them.
Absolutely, we've all heard
Billy,
that shit from somebody else's mouth.
Have you got my mother's phone number?
Where have all the good children gone? Why have I got such a rotten one?
I want to, before we move on here to this video, because I really wanted to get this video played so we can move on and come back to this. Look at the situation that my children are in right now. I have 3 children with their mother and their 2 half brothers, right? Right now, these 5 boys live with a woman that doesn't take them anywhere, right? Doesn't get them out into sports or any activities or anything like that. Literally, if what my son was telling me is true, and I don't disbelieve it at all, right? My 3 boys, from dusk till fucking dawn, do nothing offline. So when they wake up, they are either given a tablet or a cell phone, and that is their fucking babysitter 24/7.
Yeah,
you know, it's funny. When you first said all of that about having the 5 boys in one place, I was like, okay, that's got to be a freaking zoo of fist fights and shit. And then you say that they all get a tablet, and I'm like, okay, these people are going to be all just sitting around looking at tablets.
That's zombies.
Well,
I've got talking to each other.
I've got one son
they'll be sending messages to each other onto the MSN or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I've got one son who's, he's a heavier set kid, right? He's like my grandfather, really big fucking kid, right? Yeah. This kid is now borderline obese.
Shit.
And he's fucking 9. 9 years old,
he's probably
obese.
Stress eating.
Well, they never leave their room. He has no social life outside of his brothers, right?
Well, that's also his eating, because I don't do much, and I'm still a skinny wretch. It's all to do what you eat, man. So that's.
But that's just it.
And it's genetics as well.
Stress eating too.
But
he's young. He should be out.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, if she was fat when giving birth, man.
No, she wasn't.
He was most likely going to be fat.
But that's just it. She doesn't even fucking know how to cook. Her mother doesn't know how to cook.
What?
I was the one who cooked in that household. Me.
Jesus.
Her mother lived off fucking hot dogs for the last fucking 15 years. She doesn't know how to cook without, literally downloading the goddamn program. You know what I mean?
Has she ever lived alone?
Well, yeah, she's lived alone. That's not the
God
thing.
damn.
She ain't
But
alone now.
but it goes with that
Fuck.
chain, right? Like
Yeah.
she doesn't know how to cook because her mother never taught her how to cook. Her mother's mother tried to teach her, but this was also during the fucking sexual liberation of women. She was a teenager in the 60s and 70s, right? So
Well,
she had no interest in that because she was out chasing the boys.
5
There you go.
boys is a lot of calories you got to keep up with. So chances are it's all frozen food shit that she's feeding them.
And you know, that's just it. I mean, I
And while
tried
they're not
talking.
doing anything, it's just gonna sit.
I tried talking to my son when he was reaching out to me, right? And then
Processed bollocks. Sorry,
before
carry
his
on.
before his mother found our messages and completely started brainwashing him, he was telling me what they were doing on a day-to-day basis. So, you know, I was trying to ask him to get caught up, like when was the last time you guys went to the YMCA and stuff like that?
Yeah.
YMCA.
Months and years. Well, yeah, it's the big gym / swimming pool stuff. You know,
No,
it's
I'll
where you
tell
get.
no, I'll tell you what that means in the UK later.
Oh, okay. But anyway,
Yeah,
like
but
that's
that takes a membership, right? So I
well,
mean,
we had a membership
yeah.
when we were together. Now I'm sure she's dropped that because you know that's effort. But okay, so we've got a park that's right there where they were living, right? But the nearest place, really, because there's this big stretch of open farmland between where they live and like the town itself. The high point of my oldest son's days or weeks was walking to the gas station. That's his fucking high point. Walking 2 kilometers, nearly 2 kilometers, to a fucking gas station on a fucking big open road on a highway in a town that is literally a pedophile dumping ground.
Oh shit.
Yeah, look up Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and look up all the registered pedophiles there. The place lights up like it's fucking red flags. The theme park that used to be open, which I think is closed now. But yeah. And this was the best she could do as a fucking single mother. But yet having a father involved in those children's lives, that was toxic. That's dangerous.
Well, that's
Right?
too many men with power in the house there.
Yeah. No, that's a problem. We can't have that.
Now she
But
has
either
them
way,
all under her power.
yes. And I mean, right now, I can't afford the extra $500 or $600 to drag her back to court, only to go in and tell the judge the same thing I told him the last time.
So you're American?
No, I'm Canadian. She's
So,
American.
and she's down in the States?
She's in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Yeah.
How did this happen?
Long stories, many long stories.
But she was up here, or you were down
Well,
there?
she came to visit me, and then I knocked her up, and then we got married, and then she tried to move
How
up
did
here.
she know you though from that distance?
Oh, I used to game with her former husband who
Oh
killed
no,
himself.
it's an
Yeah.
online
Oh,
romance.
shit.
No. I used to game with her former
Yeah, yeah.
husband, right?
Oh no!
And
Oh
No.
after he committed suicide.
Oh no!
No, red flags, guys, red flags.
Oh
I was
no!
what? You think I was born red pill, man? I was
Oh,
blue pill as fuck.
Oh shit!
I love
I'm
his
sorry to laugh,
reactions,
but
man. It's brilliant.
it's just I've never heard this story, so this is like all shocking to me.
Oh, Jesus! No, if the walls could
Wow.
talk, brother, if the
Oh
walls
my
could talk.
god, that is a long story.
Yeah, no, I was blue pilled as fuck, right? I mean, I saw
Wow.
a single mother that I knew for a while, through because when her husband committed suicide, she came in saying, "Oh, I don't know why this happened," right?
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
it.
We know exactly why this fucking happened, and it all starts and ends with you. But yeah, at the same time, like I said, blue pilled as fuck. Took her for her word. Went into it. We talked for like 2 years before we ever met, and then she finally came up here to visit me. I ended up knocking her up because that happens, and we went on with our relationship, our situationship, whatever you want to call it.
Did she try to stay up here?
Well, we did. We tried to immigrate her here
Yeah.
first, but
Okay.
unfortunately, the laws changed as we went back and forth. We literally followed the fucked up part of the new law system for immigration. So, well, here's how it goes. When I was on with a representative from the immigration office here in Canada. After going through 9 fucking people, right? Because they would all just hear the story
Yeah.
and then be like, yeah, I can't help you. I'll transfer you.
Yeah.
But before they heard the story, it's like, yeah, no problem. One woman finally said,
no.
yeah, no, get
Another
this.
red flag. Here you
Yeah,
go.
one woman finally said, she was like, can I give you some advice off the record? I was like, okay, sure. Marry a woman from another country. It's like, really? She's like, yeah, literally between Canada and the US,
Yeah, it's hard.
the nightmare you got to go through is astronomical compared to anywhere else. Literally pick another fucking place. It's like, well, can't do that. She's already having a kid. But whatever. You know. I should have got that advice before I started sticking it to her.
When you were still gaming
Well,
with her husband.
no, he was dead.
Oh my god.
He committed suicide. Do you not listen?
Oh, yeah, I know. But I'm saying you were gaming with her husband before.
Yeah, no, I was gaming with her husband for like 2 years.
Like,
Right?
I'll pick up the pieces for you, gamer 1038.
Yeah, well, sort of. We can go into that
my
topic
duty.
later.
It's my duty as your squad mate.
But still, like I was saying, that's part of the conditioning, right? That was the conditioning I
Exactly.
was raised up on,
Yeah.
right?
Your turn to
you
carry
know,
the torch.
yeah, essentially, we were blue pilled to the point where we carried the torch. Yes, and we need to really break this cycle. But anyway, we're gonna switch topics here. If that's all right.
Okay.
We can go back into my story later because I really want to. Like I said, I wanted to point this guy out and his story and what he's saying and why this person is the absolute enemy of the fucking governments we live under because of the simple fact that he believes in freedom. And great video.
I've seen this one. It is good.
Yeah, and they had to cut out part of it because you can't mention children and COVID together.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I just did. So fuck you, Susan.
Well, you didn't make any claims.
No. And in this part. But you can watch the full video elsewhere online. But this was the one that I found that was still up on YouTube. So I want to kind of get into this. And if we're having a volume issue, guys, just let me know. Because I can't hear any feedback right now. By the way, how does the new mic and everything sound?
Sounds great.
Perfect. So there might be something to this MacBook thing, but fucking confusing to learn. So here we go.
Good day, folks. My name is Major Stephen Schwadowski. I have served Canada in the Canadian Armed Forces for 20 plus years. I hold a first-class honors degree in political science.
I thought he had a
And I
Mohican
have
then.
held several Army command positions. I have an urgent message for all Canadians. For nearly 2 years, our own elected government officials have been using the bullying tactics of fear, intimidation, coercion, and financial and physical violence against us to gain compliance for certain repeated medical procedures. We tell our children that bullying is wrong. We know it to be so. Yet we allow our leaders to do this to us. They have knowingly and repeatedly violated the highest laws of the land in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, as well as other signed international human rights agreements. Canadians have been lulled into believing that the same government who...
Yeah, I just wanted to point out for everybody that doesn't know, yes, we do have actually a Charter of Rights that I stated.
Yep.
Our fucking government officials have all broken. Dozens of them.
We do have a constitution.
Yes. So we're pointing that out, and we'll let this go on, and I'll try to shut up.
who suppresses your freedoms in the name of safety will one day just reward you back with your freedoms if you just comply to ever-changing rules and health orders. That, folks, is the very definition of tyranny, not democracy. Humans are inherently free. Kings and queens and government cronies can't give you your basic human rights. They are naturally yours.
Amen.
They can't be given. They can't be taken. They can only be suppressed. In the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, Queen Elizabeth is recognizing in law
That's right.
our fundamental freedoms. The federal and provincial.
Yeah,
She's not giving us the rights. She's recognizing that those rights exist and that we have to protect them.
Absolutely. That's why in these countries where, like I said, they've already tried the disarmament here in Canada, but they've done it in other countries, the UK, Australia, New Zealand, places like that. The reason they are coming under attack so fucking heavily because they know that that's a milestone. Disarming the people is a milestone, but they couldn't do it directly. So they went after our fucking children. They went after the future to essentially feminize them, get them under their control, remove the masculinity away from them. That's why they're totally fine with fucking castrating our children.
And that's what they were doing to the protesters. They were demasculating the men by taking away the fuel that was warming the children that they had with them. And they said, oh, you got kids? We're coming for those too now.
And there was another threat. The way I see it, our government officials that are issuing these threats and that fucking social services group, which was out there, you know, threatening to take your fucking kids because you didn't go along with our supreme glorious leader, right? Those motherfuckers should have been shot on sight. On fucking sight. The first time that came out of their mouth, they should have been fucking dead in the street. And I fucking firmly believe that. And that's where our Charter of Rights...
I can't go that far on YouTube.
Well, I'll go that far. I have no problem going that far.
No, but they should be arrested because they're breaking the law.
They are breaking the law.
all the way to the top.
Right, but they're breaking the law, and who's in charge? Another fucking lawbreaker. All of them are all on board with this. It doesn't matter who you are. If you're in the
enforcing the laws that are in on it with the people that are making the phony laws and breaking the laws that they've already made.
And who installs these other laws that's saying they're exempt? They do. Right? It'd be like me saying, well, as Emperor of Canada, even though I'm not recognized, you know, as Emperor of Canada, YouTube cannot strike me down because I have made an exemption clause in Canada that says that nothing I say can be used against me ever.
And you must let me speak every day.
Every day.
Diplomatic immunity.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Sanctions on them and everything.
Immunity.
Yeah.
But there you go. The law I just made is just as good as their fucking exemption law.
Well, that's just it. If your government isn't following the law, then no law exists. Because
Laws,
they're the ones that are supposed to enforce law. If they're breaking the law themselves, there is no law.
Then there is, right. And when it comes to man's law, they're a luxury when it's convenient. In a first world country, sure, we can allow certain things to happen. You let the shit hit the fan, right? And bullets start fucking flying in the streets. All laws, all these government made laws just go out the fucking window.
Yeah.
You don't hear of bank robbers saying, "Oh fuck, I didn't register my firearm." Right? I didn't go get a PAL for this, so I better go get that before I break the law. They don't do that shit.
This is partly why subversion is reliant on compliance.
Exactly. Acquisition, yeah.
But again, how do they get the compliance when you have people with a fucking spine?
You know, like the bribery, manipulation, etc. There's plenty of ways of doing it, but that's why subversion is so like covert, is so sneaky that it's able to bend the rules and slowly curtail it in their favor.
Right, but it's part of conditioning, right?
Yeah.
These are the dominoes used to fucking condition us to get us to where we are today.
And it's also a sign that it's taken time to position it into such a way. It wasn't like something that happened overnight.
Generations.
So that's why it kind of flies under the radar, and people are, like you say, being conditioned, and they become more tolerant and more kind of accepting of it without realizing that they basically handed over things that power, possessions, or whatever, handed over things that they didn't need to.
No,
so
and you know,
sold false promises and lies.
And we're forgetting electricity and radio is not that old either, and TV. So we've only had a short stint of all this new type of influence on us.
Well,
and look what it's done already.
Unfiltered.
Another way of achieving that there, Manly, will be to saturate and flood, to immerse the targets, the population, so that it's not just coming from one particular area. it comes from all around, and so for the unsuspecting victim target, they think that, oh, well, this is normal.
Yeah.
Everyone's moving together as one, or like there's a congruent sense of change, like positive change. We call this a progressive movement.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so
yeah, we're all progressing.
It all seems thumbs up kind of thing, but
Mm-hmm.
you know,
We're all
slowly
progressing to the slaughterhouse. That's what we're doing. We're all progressing to the slaughterhouse together.
Well, not us lot, but the fucktards, yeah.
Yeah. Because we have citizens around us right now live in the same fucking conditions we do. And they are willing to hand us over to Justin Trudeau's fucking Gestapo.
It's hard to cut against that flow and fucking parse the crowd enough to be able to walk the other direction, for sure.
Yeah. And when they use media to push their narratives, when they use our high schools and our fucking primary schools to push that same narrative, how many kids go to college right now, come out completely fucking brainwashed?
And that's all. They don't know anything else.
They don't know anything else. I mean, we have seen it firsthand. They have done the transformation videos of what they were like when they went to college and what they looked like when they came out. What they looked like when they came out was exactly what we see when we close our eyes and think liberal. What do you see? Right? and that's all part of conditioning. And that's why this gentleman right here, who has served this country for 25 fucking years, is now under investigation and being treated like a fucking terrorist. Yeah, that's actually happening. So we're going to finish out this video.
I wonder what that diamond triangle or that diamond patch means.
Don't know. Never served in Canadian military.
Me either.
Don't plan on it. I'll serve in my own military.
I know he's infantry, but I don't know. It looks like that one patch on his one arm is he was like part of some outfit that was turning a certain age, like 100 years or something. But that diamond on the side, I wonder what that is.
Don't know. But we'll let him finish out this video before I get all fucking spun up here. I'm pretty spun up right now. So, sorry guys. We'll let this play out.
Governments of Canada have chosen, through a well-planned and orchestrated set of measures, to trick and fool and scare you, the very people who elected them and pay their salaries, into complying with the suppression of our basic human rights. They have knowingly betrayed you and me under the lie of safety. This past Remembrance Day, as I stood in front of the military cenotaph in Fredericton to honor my comrades who gave their lives for others' freedom, I overheard the Premier of New Brunswick, Premier Higgs, and our Member of Parliament, Jenica Atwin, tell members of the public how special it was that these brave members of the military gave their lives for their freedom. That same freedom that these very liars and deceivers are actively working right now to suppress. I stood there, a soldier of nearly 21 years, as a senior officer in the Canadian Army, as a veteran of Afghanistan, participating in Op Medusa, the largest combat operation for Canada since the Korean War, where I watched my own brave comrades fight and get injured and die. But I also stood there as a person who hasn't taken the COVID-19 injection. The irony. So even though I serve this country, and it has been an honor to do so, an absolute honor, like many thousands of Canadians who choose body autonomy and pro-choice, I am unable to share in the same privileges now, like eating at a restaurant, going out in public to an event, or even traveling across provinces to see my child. This is happening to many others. These government traitors to freedom are suppressing the rights of the very people they claim to honor, and it made me sick to my stomach. These Canadian governments are now focused on our children.
And because we have to cut that out.
Yeah.
I am calling on the medical community to put an immediate halt on these children's injections until the Canadian public can receive the accurate, truthful data from these COVID injection injuries that have already occurred. The Canadian public has a right to be able to make informed medical choices, especially for their little children. To tell them repeatedly it is safe and effective and not give them that choice is a crime, and it's also genocide. The media and government must put an immediate halt to all scientific medical censorship and the silencing of health professionals who do not comply with your agenda, as well as hear from injury victims. The Canadian public has a right to hear from those in our communities and families who have been injured by this procedure. I am calling on my military and police comrades, all of you, all of us who have sworn a personal oath to protect our family, our friends, and our community, to now stand up and protect your loved ones against this government-forced medical tyranny. You chose to serve because you wanted to give back to your community. And instead, the government has turned your love for community and your loyalty against you. And you are now a weapon against the very people you love. Brothers and sisters, you can't be forever changing indiscriminate government measures which use fear and violence, and also be for your loved ones and for freedom. You have to choose. I'm asking you to choose your family and your community. This is why you serve. And this is your...
And that's exactly why he's the most dangerous man in Canada now, according to the Canadian government. Because they are being told to hold up their fucking oaths to the people, not the fucking crown.
Mhm.
Now they want to turn these men and women in our military and in yours into the weapons against the civilians, not for the civilians. And there are some that are going to march right up to that line saying, no fucking problem. Just like our
And there's going to be some that cross that line and stand on the people's side too. It's going to be something to see.
I think the greatest story we've had come out today or yesterday was the tow truck drivers that came up from the U.S. to pull the fucking guys off the bridge or from around the bridge, and they ended up joining them. That was hilarious.
That was the
work.
gimmick they were pulling on. Then they're like, "Oh yeah, you got to
Yeah,
win
we'll
here.
do that. We'll do that." But
Oh no, now we're blocking the road too. Oh,
that was absolutely awesome. Big shout out to those guys for fucking doing that. Appreciate it. And yeah, way to stick it to them. But these like I said, our military they swore oaths that were written by, obviously people with more integrity than our politicians have today.
well, actual patriots.
And they were thanked for their service when it was out doing their fucking dirty work over in other places like Afghanistan or wherever.
Just
And
like
like
the
I said,
truckers.
yeah, I've never served in Afghanistan. I've never served in any military. I am so proud of all the people that have, but at the same time, I'm sorry that they had to go for all the wrong fucking reasons in some cases. When we were fighting, other dictators and tyranny from other countries, all my support went with that. But when you're going over for financial gain or political control of another country from your own fucking dictator, that's where I have a problem. And you know what? He's right. He unfortunately had to watch his own brothers, just like we have a brotherhood here, they have a brotherhood there. He had to watch them get killed, maimed, fucking die right there. And how did we thank him? Go fucking kill your own citizens now. And take this shot that might also fucking do the same to you.
I think this is another sign of the elites or whoever's controlling the whole situation breaking all their own rules of how to psychologically manipulate the masses safely. Ever since this COVID situation, they've just completely dropped all rules, and I think there's something coming, but that's another subject for another day.
Well, look at what Doug Ford is ordering right now. He is threatening the people of this fucking country that he's
$100,000.
supposed to serve with $100,000 fine and jail time for a year.
And
Okay.
lose your license.
And you can lose your license.
business.
And your business.
This kind of thing is reflected in a macro scale. We see this happening in smaller dynamics, where the abused party starts to fight back. They can't take the punishment and the abuse anymore, even if they want to continue. So they start becoming, either they disengage or they become resistant. And so the manipulative party or whatever has to regain control. So typically what will happen will be a smear campaign, triangulation and isolation, and then threatening behavior, get back in line kind of thing. And this is what we're being, if you look at how this major is speaking, is kind of like that kind of thing, where he's witnessed too much abuse, too much pain, too much wrongdoing, and enough is enough. And now he's having to push back.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
thing is, so when that victim, I mean, he might not think of himself as a victim, but in this sort of relationship with the government and the military and things like that, he's been used and abused. So in that definition, he is actually a victim. He's on the receiving end of this punishment. But when that victim, macro or micro scale, decides enough is enough and they push back, that's bad news for the oppressor. Big time.
Absolutely.
I mean, because the victim has witnessed, like, they know what's up. They're the one who was continuing that relationship in a sense. They were the fuel, the engine for that abuse to happen. And then this is why it's so important for the oppressor to try and get that victim back in their place, fall in line and do as you're told. It's not just a case of, oh, we'll just let them go as a loose end, allow them their freedom, because that is dangerous. I mean, we see this also with feminism, really upset with MGTOW and red pill philosophy and men just doing their own thing. It's a major, major problem for them.
It is. And like I said, right now we have always heard the phrase the nonviolent protest, right? Oh, no violence when protesting, no violence when this, no violence when that. But yet ordering your citizens, like this gentleman right here, who chose to commit acts of violence on behalf of his country, right? Not behalf of his government, his country.
Impossible
right?
murder as well.
Yeah,
Manslaughter,
totally
yeah.
fine.
Wrong targets and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, totally fine. Go ahead. Slaughter everybody for us. Oh, did I mean us? I meant your country. Right?
Oh, I
We're
noticed he
sold.
didn't wear any campaign medals or anything.
Yeah, well, the false flag of
'Cause he's-
fucking patriotism being hijacked, right?
Yeah.
How many men and women have gone to fucking other countries, committed all kinds of fucking heinous acts, and are scarred to the point where, you know, we can't help them, or we don't know how to fucking help them get over it. And what do we do with our veterans? How many veterans do you know that are fucking living in the street right now? No matter what country you're in. Lots, right?
Yeah.
Fuck them. We're done with them. They did what we needed them to. Now, fuck them. Let them go in the street. Thanks for
That's what
your
that
service.
video is that I popped on the bottom there. When you have time, you want to play it. It's a veteran at the memorial in Ottawa, and this is supposed to be today. And the CBC was trying to interview him. When he was cleaning the ice off. It's down where you find the people that are coming into the room. Should say my name on it.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna finish
play
this
it after
one.
this guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to finish this one out. There's only a minute left.
The guy that I'm showing you is kind of the response starting from what this guy's saying.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll finish this out quickly. Shut up.
For a moment, to be a hero for your loved ones. They deserve the truth. They deserve to be protected. I am also calling on all Canadians to join in solidarity together. Freedom and love for our community. Freedom to choose who you want to be, where you want to live, what you want to experience and learn, what your spirituality is and what you want to practice, who you want to love, what you want to put in your own bodies is the foundation of our democracy in Canada. We cannot let freedom die with this generation.
Amen, brother.
May God forever bless the free citizens of Canada.
So, yeah, big shout out to Markle here for keeping this video up and doing the editing. Thank you, sir. He's also got another one. If you could look right over here on the side screen, this was the officer that showed up to a lady's door to tell her about how she should fucking peacefully protest. Remember how I said the peaceful thing is always used? Yeah. Totally worth a watch.
Facebook group lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so now you're monitoring our Facebook groups? No shit.
Oh, they've always been. That's why.
No shit.
You shouldn't even be on Facebook. It's a dirty place.
Yeah. Wherever you guys think you're free, let me be the first to tell you, you're fucking kidding yourself.
If you have a birth certificate, you are not free.
Yeah,
That
you're
is fact.
you're as free as the caged bird. So, let me see if I can remove this. Stop screen. Oh, it didn't kick me off. Beautiful. Oh, so yeah, thanks to everybody and that gentleman for posting that, because he's right 100%. But it's also part of the conditioning that got us here, and he's one of the people that are like us. They realize that something is not fucking right. So, let me try to pull up what you had there. Where'd you say you put that?
It shows up down where the people pop in.
Where the people pop in.
Like if you look down on, I don't know, are you on a phone?
No, I'm on my laptop. Oh, here it is.
Okay,
Add to
yeah, so
stream. Yeah, okay.
there you go.
So, oh my god, that's loud. Just a sec. Let me adjust the volume. Was that loud for everybody else?
Not really.
Oh, sorry. Maybe it's just loud to me. Personal adjustments. Oh, now I can't hear you guys.
Check 1, 2.
There you go.
Hello. So he's this.
Where are you from? Get the fuck out of here. Just so you know, I want nothing to talk to you, propagandist scumbag. You are a propagandist scumbag. You're a propagandist scumbag. Get out of here. Get out of here. You're just as responsible for all this garbage as they are. Now leave, bud. Leave. Just so I
Is that CBC he's talking to?
Yeah.
Good for him. Another fucking Canadian hero right there, gentlemen.
How do you sleep at night, bud? You sleep really good night or what? Don't worry, we're gonna come defund you next.
Amen.
Fucking CBC.
We're gonna come defund you next.
As they should be. They
Absolutely.
should all be fucking jailed together and tried for crimes against humanity together. You pick the side.
You're allowed to say that. Hey, let your tax money work, everybody. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, bud. That's Canadians for you.
Amen. I don't know. Can you add that video to the chat so everybody else can pick that up and go give it a view later? Or give them
that's off my hard drive. I'd have to find the link for you.
But you said earlier that just about the crime against humanity. Well, in the UK, there's an actual court case going on, and it's alleging them getting the police to officially investigate crimes against humanity with the government and the doctors and the media for the misinformation. And so if it's also going on in Canada, so if you do a little deep digging, you'll be able to find the common law court case.
Well, that's got awesome. I know that they were trying to get one started here, and I don't know if it's gotten off the ground or not. But
yeah, they'll need money. They'll need money for it. They'll probably get funding.
Going in. Brian Peckford, the guy that the last surviving member that wrote the Charter of Rights and Freedoms here. And
he's the one going in against it?
Yeah. He's the one that's going in saying, okay, look, you guys are breaking various parts of the charter here. Apparently he's only allowed to go after one infraction. He's not allowed to come in with everything that they're doing. He's only allowed to do one thing for his lawsuit.
Yeah. Well,
I forget which one it was that he chose.
I want to make a comment here on MGTOW Outlaws fucking comment where they stated that Antifa and BLM, they went to these exact same places and they fucking trashed the place. Absolutely trashed it. They did exactly the same fucking things that CBC is allegedly willing to say that these trucker protesters went and did, violating statues, leaving a mess.
They said that people were pissing on that war memorial where the guy was just at. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They're there chipping the ice off today because it's been blocked off for a whole week because they said people were pissing on it, which that happened years ago, and it was Antifa doing that shit.
Well, not only that, the one car that stopped by the fucking stairs. Yeah, a guy got out to take a leak by his car. Not on the fucking memorial, on the stairs going up to the memorial. They had footage of it. watched it. The police asked them to move on. They said, no problem, officer. We're moving on. The fucking officer that, or the one chief that reported it to the media said there was nothing to it. We asked them to move. They moved. Here's the video footage to prove it. CBC had no problems going around and saying, oh, they violated the statue in so many ways. People are defecating on it. Blah, blah, blah. They put a flag on it. No problem with Antifa and BLM and fucking the ABC community coming up and doing the exact same thing.
I never even heard
Not
the
a
part where
problem.
you're saying where that they pissed on the stairs. I never even heard that.
They weren't even on the stairs. They were parked by the stairs.
Like
You can't.
the picture that they had 2 cars that were parked at the front of the stairs, and the cops asked them to move on. But I never heard of anybody pissing on it.
But that's what we assumed he got out for, was to get out and piss by the car.
No,
I mean,
he was
can't
parking.
see. We can't see what he's actually doing, but
No,
yeah,
he was
that's
parking for the protest. And then the cop said that's not a spot that you can park at, and he's like, oh, and so he moved.
no, that was the other one. That was the second one with the 2 cars, probably. I didn't see 2 cars in that video, but it was just there could have been another one behind there.
I
'Cause they
never
only
saw
showed
one
the
where there was a
clip.
guy pissing.
No, he got out to piss by his car. I mean, it was nighttime. There was nobody around. He got out to take a leak by the car. Fuck, who hasn't done that on the side of the road?
I can tell you, I live in Ottawa, and downtown, plenty of people have pissed beside a building for sure.
Yeah,
On
exactly.
the sidewalks and shit.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they get hammered downtown, and then they walk home, and they gotta piss, and they piss all over the fucking place.
Yeah, and look at what happened when Antifa and BLM were there. They put masks on the statue. They put
Yeah,
a
they
wig, a fucking colored wig on the statue for the fucking LGBTQ ABC people.
Well, that was for the Terry Fox, yeah.
Yeah, on the Terry Fox statue. But yet putting a Canadian flag on the statue of a man
Desecrating
who used to walk around or run around with a Canadian flag on his back, that's desecration of a statue.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Justin. Fuck you to the moon, man. I'm spun
Well,
up
haven't
now.
you noticed? Justin Trudeau gets caught for something, and then he blames Canada.
Yeah.
He goes, they go, oh, what's this picture of you in blackface? And he goes, well, it's a long time ago, and it was a different time, and Canada's a racist country. And it's like, whoa.
Well,
It was in the 90s, jackass. Nobody was fucking doing blackface in the 90s in Canada. What are you talking about?
But see, that's again, we're going
He
back
always
to
blames Canada, and it's like, because he hates Canada. He's like, he wants to make it into something other than what it is.
he's fucking Castro's son. What do you
Of
expect?
course.
But
100%.
yeah, Jesus, I'm spun up now. Can't even think straight. All I'm seeing is fucking
Pierre
red.
Trudeau was given Margaret Sinclair as a gift so that he could look like he was straight, so that he could get elected. He is not a straight man. That guy was queerer than a $3 bill.
And Justin Trudeau is Fidel Castro's
That's right.
love child.
Because his mom was a floozy that went around with everybody.
Absolutely. And that's why we have nudes of her now. Would you like to see them?
No, thank you. Those were in her mental health days.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, like Justin, we've seen these organizations, these groups that collected millions of fucking and billions of dollars. I think in BLM's case, they collected billions. They've desecrated, burnt, murdered, destroyed, left a path of fucking destruction in their wake. Fiery, but mostly peaceful. Yeah.
Exactly.
Guys show up fucking, try to fucking fight for their goddamn freedom, just natural freedom, the freedom to breathe without a fucking mask on. Terrorists, we have to take them down immediately.
Well,
yeah, that's
we
the
shot
country we live in.
tear gas at the BLM people. So I mean, you got to be able to do something for these truckers here. And then it's like, well, the
When
truckers
did they
aren't doing
shoot tear
anything. The
gas?
cops are like, if they were doing something, we would stop them, but they're not doing anything.
When did they shoot tear gas at the BLM?
I'm just saying that's their response to like something like BLM at the end of the night after they've burned half the city down. They're like, okay, time to turn it down. Like they're so used to shutting down a protest that's out of control.
Well, and
that
of course,
when a protest is free like this one, and it's not where people are trying to break shit, they're trying to unite. They're like, well, we got to do something about that.
Yeah, protecting their goddamn rights. And like I said, everybody that gave up their fucking firearms here is a fucking fool because you're gonna need it. And if you don't have one yet, I don't care how you get it. I do not fucking care. If you live in a place that is just like Canada when it comes to the government, I don't care how you arm yourself, but arm
A
yourself.
few years ago, I went looking for a pellet gun. You can't get shit anymore. Fuck, everywhere you look. I'd have to go to like to the streets of Toronto and buy one off a gang member.
Hey,
Honest to God, like where do you buy a gun nowadays? They closed down all the places that have guns.
you know what?
Hunting rifles only, but
I wasn't gonna say anything, but to our American comrades, if you're listening, we could use some um,
no, trust me.
international exchange.
Believe
Yeah.
me, there's plenty of people in Canada that have guns that when they realize that there was registration coming and shit, they're just like, oh, I don't have one.
I personally lost all mine in my boating accident. It was very
Yeah.
tragic.
You'd be surprised.
I've had a few other guests on who had the same issue.
Yeah.
Ice caught on fire in one case. I mean, that was
It's
amazing.
at the bottom of it's at the bottom of Lake Opiongo.
They just don't make boats like they used to.
Yeah,
Well,
And
when
I
you're
mean-
duck hunting, you know, sometimes
it happens.
the gun fires and you're not used to it or you're not ready and it just falls in the lake. Oops, gone.
That happens. Prove me wrong.
Or your house gets your house gets robbed. Oops, all the guns are gone.
Oh no, we can't say that. Burglary of a gun needs to be reported. So that didn't happen. Lake took them all. Personally, I think I should start a salvage team and go get these guns that have been lost.
Just a big magnet on the end of the boat, just
There you go.
picking up all the crap off the bottom.
Yeah, and I mean,
Old motorcycles and shit.
you guys in the UK, I know you've all been disarmed and castrated long ago, but at the same time, you're on the border of other countries, right? You can still travel like between countries by road.
Well, we've got Wales and Scotland.
Oh no.
Yeah, but if
fuck.
you're like doesn't like well, I guess UK is not really part of the European Union anymore, right? So
Oh, that's right.
Well, theoretically, we never left.
you never left the Union?
Not really, no, not politically.
Well, yeah, of
no.
course not.
Well, I mean,
But
how
like
hard
you freely walk over the border into like France.
You can go to, like,
well, I guess
France,
you wouldn't walk
Germany.
to France,
Well, we're still
Oh.
paying VAT, which is a European tax. So as soon as we stop paying that, we know we've left.
Okay, but I
and
mean,
then-
like
and
at
then
the same
what,
time,
you're not allowed to cross borders anymore.
There's a bit of problems. They're dropping all the mandates, ain't they? So
Or... yeah,
mm,
that's
So-
probably pissing them off too.
so
Yeah.
here's the question that I have: is it possible, and hypothetically, because I have to speak in the hypothetical here, is it possible that? Yes, I know you guys are an island. There's no bridge, right? You have to take a ferry to get to the mainland.
yeah,
Right.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, you can take
So-
the channel, right?
Oh, the channel, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's the channel?
Channel. It's a tunnel that goes under the channel.
Oh, even better.
Under the sea, yeah.
Even better. Okay, so
We
there
got one
is.
we got a channel to France.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
call it the Channel Tunnel.
Yeah.
Very
Channel.
original.
Are you guys familiar with this place called Slovakia? It's a little
course.
country, a little further over.
Used to
They-
be part of Czechoslovakia.
Yeah, they got lots of weapons. You guys might
doubt.
want to think about a Congo line going that way. just a thought.
Through
hypothetically.
Bulgaria and France,
Yeah, hypothetically.
channeling Kalashnikovs.
Yeah, hypothetically. Just saying. It's a thought, just an afterthought, but it's a thought. And
Because
to
don't
be
they have
honest with-
laws where you can't even have a steak knife
Yes.
because of all the knifings that happened since they took away guns? Now everybody just gets fucking surrounded and stabbed to death.
Yeah,
That's what's happening over here, man. It's funny.
and chopped with like cleavers and stuff.
Jeez, please inform the citizens here.
And
Yeah,
here it's my
London-
government that wants to do that to people.
You know, London's got one of the highest knife crimes in the world.
Yeah, well,
Of course.
what happened the day that they fucking disarmed your guys' country? Essentially, crime didn't go down. Crime went up, and violent crime went through the fucking roof because they swapped out guns for knives and bats.
I don't know
It's
which I'd rather have, like, get shot or get, like, brutally beaten and chopped up. Like, what's better to you?
I'm gonna go with
Shoot
the
me in
bullet.
the head, I would hope.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the bullet.
Yeah.
It's way more barbaric now.
My friend here from Cape Town in South Africa, she's told me a dozen times a stab wound is fucking 10 times worse than a gunshot,
Oh, yeah.
because this stab wound can be going in all kinds of directions. You know, when you go in, it changes an angle and starts cutting, where the bullet hole seems to kind of either
Goes through.
it either goes through or it tumbles, does the damage in the area, and you just, you know, I'm trying to dumb this down as best as I can, because, you know, I didn't understand what she was talking about. But basically, you can just, if it's not a vital organ, you can put, you know, cut things and put them back together and it's done. Where knife wounds apparently can bleed right the fuck out and you're done instantly, you know?
Yeah.
I've never been shot. I can't imagine it feels fantastic. So I don't recommend that either.
It all depends.
Well, also
Some
with the
people
knife,
don't even know they've been shot because they're in shock and shit.
well, with a knife, you know, you might be looking at multiple stabs, not just one. And that's why
Yeah,
they
and
say, like, if you've been stabbed and the knife is still in you, leave it in there, because, like you say, it might bleed out. So if you're being stabbed multiple times, there's multiple areas that could be bleeding out.
And
Yeah.
organs that are punctured and shit.
Yeah, and because a stab wound is so quick, like your target doesn't go down, you know?
It's just like, you hold them up and keep doing more damage.
Plus they fight, obviously, so that knife is going to cut, you know, further and deeper. Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. I don't care what anybody says, getting shot or stabbed is not good. If I have a choice, though, put a fucking bullet in me.
If I'm meant to live, make it like the leg or something. If I'm meant to die, put it right in between my eyes.
Yeah, right in the old fucking brain pan there. But yeah, I mean, it's like the Canadian government here. They don't do anything to stop crime. When the Halifax shooter went on his killing rampage, instead of worrying about the illegal guns that he got from the U.S. government or from the side of the U.S. border, they went after legal gun owners. Rather than going after fucking gangs that bring guns in or commit crimes, they went after the fucking legal citizens.
Blame the victims.
Blame the victims.
They work with the gangs, that's why.
But what other you know solution can you come up with when it comes to the question as to why they're doing it this way? They must be working with these people on some level. Yes, okay. Going after a registered firearm with a legally, you know, licensed citizen is easy. Is your job literally meant to be that fucking easy? Like, did you sign up for Easy Street? Because if so, I'll go join the government for fucking tomorrow. Right? No, we can't do anything difficult. We have to do the easy things. Let's go after the, you know, innocent person. When the criminals, they're tough guys. They're kind of bad dudes.
Because there's ill intent behind everything they do.
Yeah.
Everything they do is to bloat.
Back in the olden days, and I'm not talking that far back, like maybe 90s or something like that, we had, I mean, and it's still ongoing, it's just we don't hear about it, but organized gangster crime, high level kind of stuff. I can't remember what their names are, but you know, it's like mobster sort of
The crate
thing,
was
stuff that you hear in like movies. At least for us over here in the UK, it's kind of like, what? I thought this was in the movies, but no, we had it. You know, like they pretty much own the streets. They hustle. They own the businesses. There's a racketeering going on.
Yeah.
There's power moves. They're bribing the police, etc. They're having to do hits on people, swapping out cars, all that kind of, just.
Yeah. Well,
and it's all on the hush.
well, Billy, I've been saying this for years.
the
The
blind
government
that's
is
it.
the government
Sorry,
is nothing but a fucking organized crime syndicate. They're just at the top of the food chain. That's
Yeah,
it.
well, there are connections. They're dabbling because at least with these
Yeah,
old time
criminals.
stories and these groups, like the police would have to turn a blind eye, or they would
Criminals
get
got the idea right there. Criminals with class.
or get intel or something like that from it.
Yeah.
Some of these gang leaders ended up going to jail, and the reason why it's been exposed is because after the jail they kind of turn a new leaf, and now they want to try and make amends for their history and their past.
And what do you consider all of our politicians if they're not fucking all criminals?
Well, we're probably gonna see a phase going forward into the future where they're gonna be a bit of groveling, or like it's like how you get these feminists who are now saying they're anti-feminist. It's like, yeah, you're still a chameleon.
Well, I mean, I can't fully agree with that. Well, I mean, yes, some of the ones that we know are fucking obviously chameleons, but I actually have a video that I wanted to share with you guys, and this one's from Janice Fiamingo.
I mean, they might just try and escape and ghost and go underground, because they know people will be after them. We've got the police commissioner that's recently, what's the word when you give up your job?
Resign?
Resign, yeah. I was going to say retire. Yeah, resign, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what we're seeing with these politicians that are turning suit now on Justin Trudeau, right? The guy from Alberta, the guy from Quebec, weeks prior, they were so adamant about pushing the fucking mandates, about pushing vaccines, about pushing the passports, restricting your movement, restricting your ability to live on this fucking earth that you own. We own this motherfucker. Justin Trudeau doesn't own this country. Queen Elizabeth doesn't own this fucking country. The land I'm standing on is mine, motherfucker. You want me to move? You kill me to get it. Don't come bring the law or anything else. You fucking kill me to take it. And our citizens all over the world have lost the idea of that you own the country and the government works for you, not for themselves. They work for you. We pay them very well to do their goddamn job, which is to work for us, not to enslave us. If you want to be enslaved, I, again, just to promote myself, am trying to become Emperor of Canada. So please come serve me. Okay? I will treat you very well, and we will help liberate everybody. But serve me, not Justin Trudeau. We might have to put you in like a kind of a mine or something for a while, maybe work in a field, who knows,
You could be the canary.
Yeah, but
down the gravel pit, breaking
well,
rocks with a sledgehammer.
I mean, I live in a province that's very rich in gold, and I need gold. Okay, but Emperor, if you want to serve,
Don't talk about gold.
I need
Fucking
gold.
hell.
yeah, if you want to serve me.
know.
Just thought I'd throw my advertisement out there and shill for myself. Big shout out to MGTOW TVs in the chat. Chrome
I'm
Dome,
also
sorry
on your
buddy, I
panel.
missed you. Oh yeah. You bastard. I hate when you join with that. It confuses the fuck out of me. Mr. Howard Dare, who
I saw you
believe
do that
already
comment. That's why I put it in my name so you can see it.
See, you can't trust anybody. Talk about chameleons. There's one right there.
Well, it's supposed to be hidden.
More of a
Oh,
ninja, yeah.
yeah, little ninja bastard. Oh, so yeah. Like I said, man, that conditioning, these dominoes that have been put in place to bring us to the fucking brink of where we are now. I mean, right now we have the opportunity because everybody is waking up to what's going on. And I've stated this. I've stated this in pretty much every live stream I've been on this past month that we need to keep it going. Don't stop here. Look back at how we got here, how we lost control of our fucking country, how so many people, young people especially, were convinced and brainwashed into joining groups like BLM and Antifa and going out and fucking burn, loot, and murdering the place. Look back to how we got here. And the very roots will always go back to the same fucking place and for the same reasons. It was all about control and power. The dollars in your pocket don't add up to fuck all in the end of the day. They're just a promise that a product that you want is going to be worth something, you know, or worth what's in your pocket. It's all big fucking game.
Oh, what's in your wallet?
What's in my wallet? Where's my wallet? Oh, I've lost my wallet. I don't know. Must have went down with my guns in the lake. Oh yeah. Howard, would you like to pop on and say a few words? Because you know,
Mr. Dare.
Yeah, like Billy, you're one hell of a fucking speaker. If you'd like to join in, buddy, the link should be still up in the chat, on the top there, if he's even still around. Looks like a bunch of people left, but yeah, guys, any other thoughts on this?
I think I've got two things I'll quickly add. One, the dominoes falling is another way of saying house of cards.
Yes.
So the house of cards is collapsing, and just to illustrate your point about your money doesn't really mean squat. Amanda, you already know this story. I bought a hard drive recently, and got it for $200. The delivery failed to deliver, so I tried to place another order for it. And when I looked back, or when I went to try and place that order, the price of this hard drive had gone up to $260, 60 quid overnight. Now, obviously, the hard drive itself hasn't changed, but just for whatever reason they want, so your money basically is no true reflection of the value of something.
Absolutely not.
They took the gold standard off of all of their dollars and they put it on the tax. Whatever they can take from your future is what the money's backed on now.
It's arbitrary.
And they're printing so much of it, our future is worthless.
Yeah. And I mean,
the shop today. Sorry.
Well, I was gonna say when they took our currencies off a gold standard of a product that they have that exists that always retains its value, if not increases its value over time, they've essentially sold us nothing but paper fucking lies because it's only a promise.
And it's all backed on our future.
Yeah. I mean,
interest that's unbelievable.
Look at what happened. And what did they do? They started fucking printing more. The governments just started printing it, baby.
And there's plenty of ways of fooling people like that. I mean, take the idea of when things are on sale.
Mm-hmm.
Most common people think they're getting a bargain. But really, a company can't make money if they're selling things at a loss. So just because you might get 50% off, which is what we were seeing, me and my kid at the supermarket today, because she was looking at the toy aisle, and some of these toys are labeled 50% off. The shop is still making money on those items. Maybe not as much money, but they're still making their margin for it.
Well, of course, and you're also helping them get rid of old product.
Yeah. Well, that's probably
product before it becomes old.
that's been sitting around for a while. Yeah,
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
you
But it
know,
just shows that as well, that in general, what you're paying for. I mean, we already kind of know this anyway, but the way they inflate the retail value of it is astronomical. I mean, I'm not sure what the percentage will be, but you know, if you're looking at something that might cost £20, it might only cost maybe £1 to manufacture. The rest of that is going into the hands of the greedy.
well, yeah. I mean, marketing on stuff is the way it's always been. Even when it comes to like middlemen. Okay, the farmer doesn't always go to market anymore, right? Even when the farmer, your local farmer, went to his local market, he didn't sell always to every citizen that wanted to purchase. He generally had someone who had a shop in the market that he would sell to. And then they would turn around, put on their cut, which, you know, our standard, we would say like 30%, and then they would sell the products to the locals, right? I have no problem with that. That's capitalism 101, right? Now the same thing can be said even with services. Like if I hire somebody at, you know, say $10 an hour, and I sell them to do a job to another customer at $15 an hour, I pocket 5, they take 10, right? And I sit back and collect. But the middleman still has risk. Everybody still has risk, and they, you know, they deserve to get a cut for what they've contributed. If the middleman didn't do their jobs, the people below them wouldn't have a job, and the people above them wouldn't have a service, right? So
Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. I mean,
that's
you're
how
right.
things work.
It is, yeah. But I was just making an example of the point that your money is no true reflection of what you think it's worth.
No, absolutely not. Because like I said, who right now controls all the gold, essentially, when it comes to large quantities of gold? Who controls where that goes and how it's used?
Did you see Hammerhand? He left a video maybe a week ago now, where a guy, he was a deep sea diver and he found a lot of gold, you know, worth hundreds of thousands, and he's in jail
Yeah,
because he won't tell the courts where the gold is located.
because the country that owns the waters wants the gold, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Even and you know, that's another thing when it comes to maritime salvage. That's happened all over the world. We've lost millions of ships over the fucking years, I'm sure, that were packed full of it. Um, People, even if it's in international waters, if you were to do a salvage expedition and you did find something, the best thing you can do is keep your goddamn mouth shut.
Yep.
Not because you want to go down in the, if you want to go down in the history books, you go ahead and tell your government or whatever government the ship belonged to. Like, let's say you found a Spanish galley in international waters. Technically, nobody has claim over international waters. However, it's a Spanish ship. The Spains want the gold that's on board, or at least a very large percentage of it. And if you want to go down in the history books as the person to find it, you're going to have to give it to them. They might give you a small percentage.
Quick
right?
question: do you guys have inheritance tax?
What is that?
Like when your parent might die and you inherit their money and you get taxed on it?
Well, here in Canada, you do not get taxed on inheritance or lottery winnings. So we do get inheritance, but we don't pay taxes on it. Now in the U.S., they get taxed heavily.
Unless it's like a land or a house or something, and then you'll end up paying some
property
kind of transfer tax.
We got stamp duty.
Yeah, I think I've heard something sort of about that. But yeah, you guys are more like the U.S. So here, the best thing, that can happen to you is you either find a shitload of it and never try to like move a shitload of it.
We've got some iffy ones. Like if I can't remember the exact figure, but it's something really low. So if you give your children a present that's worth more than like £10, you're supposed to report it to the tax office.
Really?
It's a bit like I don't know. It's just a cheeky like the fuck, you know.
Yeah. Well, I
So when
know
Christmas comes along, you know, you're meant to report all these presents that you've purchased and
Oh my god.
who
well,
you've given them to.
to take ownership of like even to say like a travel trailer, right? If I wanted to put my documents onto a travel trailer, even if the person wanted to give it to me, they have to I have to at least say that I purchased it for $10. Because if I'm not a family member, they can't gift it, right? So they obviously want to say that there's something on there, and the minimum is $10. So yeah,
So that you have to pay the tax, and then you
so
end
I
up
have
paying the value tax.
yeah, and to transfer it over, you're still going to pay like $160 to transfer anything minimum. You know what I mean?
Service charges, yeah.
Yeah. So in that way, we do have to do it. But, you know, if it was that I was a family member, they could just transfer it to me for, say, nothing, but I'd still have to pay the transfer tax. That's not between
For the
you and the
value
other.
of whatever it is. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that's
like a car. You'd have to pay whatever the value of the car is. You'd have to pay the value that much
well,
in tax.
they essentially let you kind of put that in,
Yeah.
right? But if you don't put it, if you only put in that's $10 worth, they'll only insure you for that much. So, you know,
Yeah,
you're gonna get
that's like
$8 if the car goes fucking missing until you up that, right?
Because the new person has to go in and put it in their name.
Yeah, essentially.
And that's where they get pinched.
Yeah, well, we pay fucking shitloads in taxes up here too.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I heard that we're the worst in the world at this point.
Yeah, they are. ICBC right now, especially after the last couple years, when we had that fucking that big storm come through and damage all those vehicles on the island.
Yeah.
Their premiums went through the fucking roof.
Yep.
Through the roof. So basically, I was being punished for the weather, even though my car wasn't damaged.
Yeah.
And you know what the weirdest part
you're not
is?
covered by what do they call it, like acts of God or something like that?
No, well, no, they cover the damage because we have a no-fault insurance, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what happens, the insurance company will cover it for your deductible. However, if they have like a natural act like that come through, yes, they'll cover the damage for just the small deductible, right? But the next, say, year that you go to re-register your vehicle or get your insurance updated, because it only lasts for a year, they've jacked their prices up, and that's on you because they're trying to make up for the damage that was done and the money they had to throw into it, which is also backed by our government, by the way. They don't suffer losses as an insurance company, because anything they lose, the government pays them back. And then they get to put in a big fucking tax credit. So they don't pay any taxes on the money they collect either. Oh,
Dirty.
It's dirty. Yeah, it's dirty.
It's all fucking dirty.
You know, we're kind of going into this 2-hour mark, and I really wanted to kind of get back to where we were supposed to be on topic. You know, back to that conditioning of things and whatnot. I had a video here from Janice Fiamingo, and I think I've got it on double speed because, you know, it's a bit longer, 1.5 times. But I think we're just going to skip that for tonight. And yeah, I don't know. I'd kind of like to get back to the addiction thing that me and Amanda Load were talking about earlier.
Sure.
And, you know, the conditioning of everything kind of leading back to that circle, and to get into that section of, you know, how they've conditioned society to force addiction on us. Because as most of you probably know, the U.S. came out with their crack packs, is what we're calling them, which are the same kind of care packages for addicts that we've been giving out here for a few years. And people were all up in arms because they were including a cracked pipe into it.
Okay. So with the crack pipe as the focus
Night,
here,
JR.
good night, JR. Um, an effective way of getting someone addicted is one, like, make them feel less than. So either
Yeah.
chip at their esteem, make them feel guilty, inadequate, some sort of deficit, and then present a solution. Like, so here, I behold the holy crack pipe, and this will solve your problem and make you feel better.
Yeah.
So it's like a twofold effect going on. You make them feel crap, or you bring them down in some sort of way, while simultaneously presenting the solution. And it's almost like lambs to the slaughter at that point, because if you're targeting people in such a way that you're making them vulnerable and susceptible, they're weakened, then it's almost like naturally they'll start to gravitate towards whatever is on offer: a crack pipe, a used needle, anything.
Oh,
There's
and
no-
then,
I think
those
you're talking
self-
about the other end of it, though.
well, I mean, here,
Like the most insidious part of it is not how they're enticing the crack addict to go and get a pipe. It's the fact that they're enticing the non-crack addict to pay for the pipe and give it to the crack addict. And how are they doing that? And it's through health. They say it's stopping the
double-sided, right?
spread of herpes and stuff. So that way the crowd is okay with it. Same with the needles.
Well,
We're going to get the needles off the ground if
yeah,
we could just trade
so-
them in for new ones.
So
Yeah.
the sneaky thing there for the non-crack addicted people is they believe they're doing something morally right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. No, and the
It's
the
easy to
thing
get the
here,
crackhead in. It's getting the guy to pay for the crack pipe. That's the problem.
well,
And
well,
they've done it easy.
the thing here, Billy and Manly, like the biggest fucking, I guess, trigger to what was going on here when it came to them giving out these kits and the used needle program was that also the Canadian government legalized and started prescribing heroin, just straight up fucking heroin.
Once they were in their little heroin boxes that they were letting them do it in.
Yeah.
If you do it
So,
on the
I mean-
street, you're in trouble. But if you come over here and sit in this chair and let us watch you, you can get high all day. We'll even give you a supply.
Yeah.
Have you seen what's been going on with the marijuana situation with I'm not sure which counties or which states exactly, but since they've legalized it in some places, it's upped the level of crime to such an extent where recently I heard that the police, they found a loophole where you got police stopping van, what do you call them? Like
the
vans.
yeah, the goddamn armored cars to deliver the money. Yeah,
Yeah.
the police are pulling them over deliberately to fucking take all their cash because in the US that is a legal thing that fucking police do, to take your goddamn money. Anything you have over a certain amount, they can list as suspicious, and you would have to sue them to get it back, and they just take it and you fucking drive on. So yeah, now they're targeting the actual the legal grow ups cash trucks.
Yeah, so going back to the crack pipe example, this is just like the facade or the first stage. I mean, think about how it could open up, like, the possibility for lucrative people, mostly either the police or powers that be, to exploit it even further.
Well,
So
exactly.
it's not just about trying to make people increase their addiction and dependency and reliance on such substances, but it also it further cripples them in the sense of like any money that's to be not profited, but any money generated from, let's say, the organizers who are manufacturing these crack pipes.
Mhm.
You know, they might think they're in on the deal, but there's nothing really protecting them.
No, there isn't. I mean, trying to bring this, even just the marijuana thing, trying to bring marijuana into the mainstream and into the limelight type of thing. I mean, that was easy where I live because I live in British Columbia, Canada, which is literally the pop fucking farm of the world, right? Next to fucking Afghanistan. But they've switched off to poppies now, so they're doing heroin too, mainly. But yeah, like here, people had grow ups going fucking 20 years ago, and it was all out in the open, right? You get a nice rainy, warm day, and all you could smell was pot because people have grow ups everywhere. So that was one thing here. Now, I mean, even in my small area, right, which is the fucking rhubarb butthole of nowhere, the legal grow ups here have been targeted by armed fucking groups looking to bust in and steal their fucking money.
Some of that would be the guys that lost out on the black market.
Well, I mean, it paints a nice big target on you. I mean, we all knew where our drug dealers lived when we were buying dope when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
How many times have you heard of a fucking dope dealer getting rolled? Probably quite a few times.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I've watched it.
Yeah. Now you're literally fucking, you're mainstreaming this shit. Now you've got a cash box. Now you've got an ATM. You know what I mean? And you're still not really paying taxes on it. So, what went into your box today was never registered with anyone.
Yeah.
Technically, a crime never got committed because I took something that wasn't registered. It was just in a register. I've committed theft. But yeah, I mean, the guys didn't get far. Well, yeah, I mean, the guys didn't get far and they were still arrested. But at the same time, that happened like 6 or 7 months into the legalization of fucking marijuana.
Yeah.
And did I mention I live in the asshole of nowhere?
Well, exactly. That's where they get away with the most of it.
Yeah, I mean, we can set up huge grow-ups here. Huge. Massive. There's trees everywhere, that's all you see is trees. We're not in a bustling city. And police response time, even to the residential houses here, is like 45 minutes.
Oh, it's like RCMP or something.
Yeah, they are. But I mean, the response
That's how little
time.
policing there is.
Yeah,
you leave it to the feds.
Their response time is 45 minutes. So if I wanted to jack the motherfuckers here while they were taking out cash, I got 45 minutes before they show up, unless you're very lucky, and it's like there's the traffic stop somewhere close by. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So unless one of those are close by, and you get very lucky, you got 45 minutes before they're going to show up to where the place was to find out where they went.
Yeah. Probably passed them on the way through.
Yeah, and I mean the guys that did the jacking here, they didn't get fired because they were really fucking stupid about it. Not only did they take the cash, right? But they decided to go and start fucking cleaning out the product in the grow up.
Oh, jeez.
So we're talking like packing up garbage bags and cutting it off plants.
Double busted.
You're double dumb. Get the fuck in. You just you just used 4 guys to fucking jack these people with their cash. Take the cash and leave.
Yeah.
No. We'll spend 40 minutes here fucking fruited plants. Oh, dumb criminals.
Oh, they're a dime a dozen, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, and luckily they didn't shoot anybody,
Yeah, exactly.
But to be honest with you, you also left fucking, 3 or 4 witnesses. Again, not smart.
Not bright, no.
No. Not that I condone shooting your witnesses. But there's a reason why they're called a witness.
That reminds me of King of New York, where he's like, "Here, buy some flowers for your witnesses," and throws the money on the ground, and then Larry Fishburne walks up and picks up the money. He's like, I don't leave witnesses.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, we're gonna see a lot of that here because there's like fucking 14 grow ops in my area that are being built right now. Being
For
built.
sure.
Right.
This is like the hugest booming business there is in Canada right now.
Yeah, and I mean these
There's
guys
a new
are
pot shop on every fucking corner now.
well, these guys are putting in all their fucking money into these big risk fucking setups, and they could be shut down tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like they can get it all set up, start growing, be shut down the next day by the law for whatever reason. They could also set up, start selling for a month or two, have all this fucking cash ready to go to the bank, and be rolled. Right?
Yeah.
Somebody walks off with all their fucking cash that they took in from all their hard work. And they're throwing in all, hundreds of thousands of dollars into these grow ups. But, that was something they gave us to condition us as well. I mean, personally, I don't think pot should have been illegal from the get-go. But at the same time, they legalized this to help dumb down the fucking population and to get more teens that were coming into the voting age to vote liberal.
Well, I think that's mostly what it was.
Yeah, mostly.
Because I don't think pot dumbs you down. Unless the only problem you're gonna get from pot is from if you've already got something underlying that you don't know you have.
Well, at the same time, I mean, being introduced to pot at a young age, I find really keeps people stupid.
You can't give that to someone whose brain is still forming.
Well, and
it's
that's
the same as any brain-altering drug.
Yeah, and that's been researched on, depthly. The young mind,
growth.
Yeah, the young mind that is still growing at the age of 16, and your body's still developing.
It's the same with caffeine. Even you can't give coffee to fucking 10-year-olds, and I see people doing it all the time. They're giving kids that are like 9 and 10 years old. They're going and giving them ice caps and shit. I'm like, you people have no idea what you're doing to your kids.
No, I mean, my little guy used to steal my mochas, but he stole them. That was different. Fuck, he got to learn how to drink them real quick, though.
Wow. I mean, I'll go to the Tim Hortons and I'll see there's like a 300-pound lady and 2 or 3 180-pound kids, and they're all getting ice caps, and I'm like, this is not good for the health system. That's for sure.
Well, no, I mean, the Manly touched on that too when it came to the overall health and well-being and miserable lives that we live in. Fucking diet is part of it, right?
Well, obesity. That's a parent actively addicting their kid to caffeine
because it's easy.
Yeah, and of course the kid's gonna cry for it every day after it's gotten it.
Of course, they get addicted.
I mean, there's addictions in all sorts of forms, like even attention-seeking, OnlyFans. Body modifications, getting tattoos.
I just looked at my YouTube channel, and I just got a bunch of new subs, and I just got a huge dopamine hit.
There you go. Yeah,
I need more of that, guys. Can we?
All an addiction.
Can we? Please get all your second and third channels to sub to me.
I'll take first channels. I didn't get one. You racist.
No, I'm gonna end up at 1,000, and then they're gonna cut my channel off.
Well, I got a ways to go, but like again, you're right. That's an addiction too. We've seen what the addiction of attention has done to young women and young men, but mostly young women to this day.
Formative years, man. You're training the brain.
Yeah, absolutely. You're conditioning
those rats to push the button to get the pellet.
I mean, to think, if people think they've got this notion like you could be someone without any addictive qualities about you, then you're mistaken. And the problem with the addiction is it's a bit like a gateway drug. So you might not be on crack right now, but if you're addicted to, say, OnlyFans and sub counts or whatever, give it enough time, and you might somehow happenstance stumble into a crack addiction, you'll be like, how the hell did this happen? Not to say
because it's all empty calories when
I'm
it
being a
comes to
bit
social
extreme,
media.
I'm being a bit hyperbolic about it, but
They
I'm just
will
saying,
look for a bigger high once they stop getting it from social media, for sure.
Well, that's
maybe
just
more
it.
realistically, it's like if someone's depressed and they're addicted to the attention, the glamour of being a celeb kind of persona, then they're more likely to be addicted to ice cream.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think about it, your first sub was a big jolt, right? Now, let's say you got that fucking a million times. Well, you stop noticing that one sub, right?
Yeah.
So now you have to get your fix elsewhere. You have to get that dopamine, and I mean, a lot of these young women are facing some serious fucking problems when it
YouTube's
comes
helped
to
me. They keep me down to like 1 or 2 every week.
I mean, a man.
So they all mean something, guys.
One of men's greatest addiction, and it's arguable, is whether love is the greatest of all addictions.
Well, absolutely. Look at what we've done throughout the fucking history of mankind for the the piece of ass that's behind us.
We even went dicks out for Harambe.
Yeah. Whoever that is.
You don't remember Harambe?
No.
What?
Who?
And then
When that mom dropped her kid into the gorilla cage, and then the gorilla went and grabbed it and was holding on to it and trying to protect it, and then they shot it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because that made sense, right?
Yeah. That's why they made the meme "Dicks Out for Harambe," which is just an outpouring of love.
Yeah, and I mean, young men right now are on these Twitch sites and OnlyFans and fucking everywhere else, subbing to these women doing, outrageous acts, right? And they become addicted to whatever the fuck they're getting from that,
Twitch
right?
hot tubs, like what the hell is that about?
Yeah. Twitch pool parties, like what the fuck? I mean,
I
don't
was
get
always
me
waiting
wrong.
for someone to pop their fucking inflatable pool in their living room and just destroy their apartment.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to the farts and jars that are on the market.
Billy, you touched on a sensitive topic there, dude.
Jar farts.
Only $49.95, guys, down from $250.
Yeah, you gotta
vintage?
crack. Don't open the lid all the way. You gotta make it last. So you gotta crack the lid.
This is a 2013 vintage. I capped this years ago.
You know what? She's a perfect example. If you look into that young woman's fucking history, look at the things she's done to become famous.
Belle
You know
Delphine.
what? Dude, she's
she didn't do the farts.
She's been on like 2 or 3
bathwater.
fucking reality shows, right?
Yeah.
The fart jar chick. She's posed as a fucking lesbian on like some bachelorette show or some fucking shit. Then she started selling herself on OnlyFans. Then she got so lazy she just started selling her farts on OnlyFans, and that's where she fucking made her fame. Now she's infamous, right? But
selling farts on it. Oh,
yeah,
geez.
yeah, and I mean, dude, we've seen Belle Delphine do some crazy shit, but one of the guys came into the stream the other day and said, of all the women out there on these sites, that woman is the fucking boss of it all, because she doesn't let that fucking shit affect her. Her sub count stuff, she's literally, she monetizes everything. The other girls, they do shit that's outrageous just to get subs. You know what I mean? But that girl was like, fuck, I already got it. So everything else is just bank, and it's possible. But I mean,
what can you sell in a jar that's worse than farts?
Well,
there's going to be a ceiling to all of this.
I don't think we could sell blood, urine, or semen because that can be used at crime sites.
Well, I mean, even her, like, how is she going to outdo herself to be relevant 5 years from now?
But that's just it. After she stopped doing this, like, she was only relevant short term.
Yeah.
She'll come up in like memes or fucking, jokes about sell your farts then. Belle Delphine will be fucking known as the fucking queen that sold her bathwater and never got nude on fucking Twitch once.
Well, that kind of stunt pulling, or whatever you want to call it, those like, what can I do to get notoriety? You can see how that conditions the next feeble mind to try and up the ante.
Yeah. Well, that's what Fart Girl did. She
Who's
tried
gonna
to.
start selling their crud in a jar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right, we're discussing what could be next, even right
Yeah.
here. So it gets the mind, it makes the mind more imaginative, and that's part of that conditioning.
Get
Well,
the hidden MGTOW's toenail clippings for $4.99 a jar.
Holy fuck, that's a steal.
Especially when I let them get really long before I clip them.
Oh, better yet,
I can
tell
fill
you
the jar
what.
pretty quick.
Tell you what. You guys all know Undead Chronic, right?
Mhm.
Okay, I will sell you a picture of who he really is
Oh shit. He's
for
doxing.
$299.
He's gonna dox on Dead Chronic.
No, I'm just going to show you a picture of who he really is. That's not doxing. It's just showing a picture.
Can I screenshot it?
No, you can't screenshot it. You got to buy it.
Oh, you can give it?
I'll buy it. Buy it. Give me money. I have no idea who the fuck Undead Chronic really is or what he really looks
just
like.
a picture of some guy at
Just
Walmart.
a picture of a random dude. It'll be different every time. Better yet, we'll play a lottery where you don't know if you got the real picture or not.
That'd be funny. He put up his video with him talking, and then he put up the picture and say, "Does this look like the voice goes with this picture?"
Yeah. Do these guys match up? I don't know. Playing the guessing game. It's like those what is it? The NFT thing. You know? It's really
That's so stupid.
completely fucking worthless.
I don't understand things that they're doing these days.
The only or which you're familiar with is Emperor Chris Mitchell. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Riggs. You the man, brother. You are the man. Well, yeah, no, it's crazy. And I mean, this underlying addiction to fucking just clout and recognition and internet fame is
All for that little dopamine hit.
yeah, it's all a part of that fucking problem. I mean, how many dude? Oh, what's his name?
I switched
who's the
alcohol from alcohol to YouTube addiction.
yeah, to likes and subscribes and
because they're harder to get.
Twitch thoughts. What was who's the biggest YouTuber in the world again?
Oh shit, PewDiePie.
Yeah, PewDiePie. Did you ever see the video where fucking or maybe it was PewDiePie or fuck, what was the one guy's name? He's
Filthy
one of the
Frank.
two
That guy's pretty
brothers.
famous.
The one that went into boxing.
Oh, Jake Paul and
Yes. There was a
what's the other one's
guy
name?
who quit his fucking job to go to work for Jake Paul without Jake Paul fucking knowing. That's how he got fucking famous. By quitting everything in his life to go work for Jake Paul, but not
Jake Paul didn't
notifying
even
Jake
know.
Paul about this until he was fucking already quit his job and moved.
And he's at the guy's door. He's
Well,
like,
he
I need
was
that job now.
he met up with him at a fucking some kind of thing that they had at a like Comic-Con or some shit.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, and he fucking literally stopped him outside on the street and was like, "Oh, I've done everything. I've quit my job and stuff to come work for you and be your assistant and learn the fucking trade from you." And he was
Take
like,
him in.
"No, no." Like you're a twisted individual when you think
No
this
doubt.
way. But look at all these fucking young men that are on these Twitch thought accounts, right?
Oh man.
Addicted to these young women.
One
Spending
of them's
all
gonna show up when they find the address.
Well, that's just
Stalker.
it. But
Yeah.
they spend all this fucking time and money on these women
You owe
that
me.
sell them a lie, right? They're selling them a fantasy of any kind of connection whatsoever.
Forever edging them.
Yeah, and they just keep spending more and more.
Yeah.
The one guy fucking spent his family's life savings, and then I think he ended up murdering them.
No.
Like, yeah, all for a Twitch thought. And she was like a fucking 4.
Oh jeez.
She ain't no fucking queen, man. Okay,
That's
I'm
why
not
she was
gonna
easy
lie.
to find, probably.
What do you mean? Oh, like on
'Cause,
Twitch?
Yeah. She was
Yeah,
probably
well-
easy to find where she was. She didn't have anybody backing her. She's only a 4. Nobody's watching her back or nothing.
I guess, but I mean, like, this is just fucking extortion to the worst fucking level, man.
I'm
Getting
pretty
these
sure Belle
young,
Delphine has a team, right?
yeah, but getting these young men addicted to fucking,
Bad idea.
the idea of fucking spending time with you, or paying thousands of, dude, one guy paid $10,000 for a hug from his OnlyFans fucking thought.
Don't they know that there's like a strip joint that you could probably get a hug if the bouncer's not looking?
Dude, don't you know there's a whorehouse down the street? And 10 grand can buy you a fucking lot of hoes.
Oh shit! No
10
doubt.
grand.
That's at least a week in a good whorehouse.
Oh my god, yes.
Solid.
And
And some cocaine to make sure you live through it.
you and your cocaine, man.
I'm just
Yeah,
joking about that shit.
But at the same time, yet we look at society here in like Canada and the US, right? Like most of the US prostitution's illegal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here in Canada, prostitution is illegal. Now, escorts are
soliciting.
not. Yeah.
It's all in how you do the talking. Part
Yeah.
of it.
Well, it's all about where you go here. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you can hire an escort. You're renting her time, technically, but she is going to have sex with you. And you have to be in a private residence or location. And a hotel is not a private location. And your car is not a private location. That's all public property.
Yeah.
But you go home, you do your thing. That's frowned upon. He gets something, she gets something. That's frowned upon. Twitch thoughts, taking guys for everything they're worth, possibly breaking their heart and leading them to fucking off themselves or their families. That's totally fine. Totally fine.
If an escort's ever done that to somebody, it was so addictive that he just kept on buying her until he fucking couldn't afford his rent anymore.
Well, it's not just fine, but it's actually celebrated and encouraged, rewarded.
Yeah. Look at that
Well, she got
strong,
the bag,
independent queen.
Yeah, she got the bag.
Yeah, she got the bag.
And
Get
his
your bag.
got cut off, so that was the end of him.
Yeah. And I mean, it's fucking horrible, but because it's a man involved who's losing everything, nobody gives a fuck.
No victim there.
No victim, yeah. No victim from the family courts when men lose their children and kill themselves. Yet, we have a suicide prevention hotline. So, we've created the problem, just like Billy said. Now, here's something of a solution, but we're not fixing the problem. We're just giving you somewhere to go so we can create another problem.
I bet you most people that call suicide hotlines are probably women. I don't think guys talk about much. They just go and take care of what they're going to do when they've made their mind up. Whereas women want to be talked out of it all the time.
Well, not only that, but they also use the ways that are generally, least effective.
Well,
I mean, my sister committed suicide like 6 times.
They say women attempt it more often, but men are more often succeeding at doing it.
Yeah, we're very successful on the fucking self-deletion, which is horrible, and we're not allowed to talk about it because
we're mechanical.
Yeah, but we're not allowed to talk about it. I mean, right now, this channel could be shut down fucking tomorrow, and that's all my intentions was to try to help people from fucking offing themselves. That's my goal. But whether or not I can,
hits.
What's that?
Mine is dopamine hits.
Yeah, we know you got issues.
I'm addicted.
And you're clearly not off the cocaine.
I haven't been on cocaine in a while. You can tell by how slow I talk.
And how
it's all about
you
the
mention
weed.
It.
It's all about the weed with me.
Well, you and Emmanuel will be good partners. He's probably falling asleep right now. Or his mic's off and he doesn't know it.
Yeah, because he's not muted.
No. He turned his mic off before we started. We were chatting about something, and I was like, if I'm going to turn my mic and stuff off if it gets to playing the videos and stuff, because it could be really loud.
His eyes get too heavy. He's like, okay, hit that mute button just in case.
Well, he said he would do the same. Then he turned off his mic to roll his doobie and started talking. And had his mic off the whole time. Oh, that's funny. but it was a good start. But yeah, no, like, it's horrible, man. This fucking the situations we're living in right now in this fucking world is horrible when it comes to, completely alienating one side of the aisle. And we've been going on for almost 3 hours, and everybody's pretty much left, so we should probably shut it down.
All right.
Call it a night. Billy, you got anything else you'd like to add to the whole situation?
Well, as with most addictions, they kind of spiral out of control and get worse and worse. So it kind of ties in with your overall title of your stream about dominoes collapsing.
Well, it really does, doesn't it? And I mean,
we're all being knocked over.
Are you guys familiar with the one story that came out from Dark Horse? It's a Batman series that was done, the Killing Joke.
Killing Joke, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it
I
showed.
don't know why Macho Man just came out.
What's that?
I don't know why Macho Man just came out, but yeah.
Yeah, the Killing Joke. I mean, it showed the dark side of our childhood heroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it really does portray, I think, the best. Well, gives the best portrayal of the Joker and his creation. And the one writer, I remember him doing an interview where he said, we wanted to show just how one bad day could turn the most sane man insane. And I can't help but feel like that's all our society is trying to do right now, is to try to push as many people to the worst day of their fucking lives to drive them insane.
They're using the same methods that you would try to cure an insane person with on
Mr.
people that aren't
Riggs.
insane, so it actually turns them insane.
Good day, Mr. Riggs. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. Yourself?
Oh, brother. Trying to keep things going. Anything you'd like to add?
No, just one quick question. How is it to be an underling to One Fast Dak as Emperor?
I think it would be a good addition. But, how far under?
What's
Are we talking like second
Around
in
the feet?
command type of thing?
Yeah.
I think he would do.
Like you get all the 300-pounder women.
Oh,
Fuck no
you
way.
get stuck with all the threes and below.
that sounds like all the
my
work.
my harem's got to be better than that. My harem's got to
Sounds
be
like you're
better.
doing
Than
all the
All
work.
the best is for One Fast Dak. You know that.
Oh, you want me to be under him as emperor? Fuck you. I'm emperor.
Gotta give you shit,
You're crazy. I gotta be emperor, man.
No.
This works.
Second in command.
No, that would definitely not work well. Well, at the same time,
I'm the
worst
pharaoh
part
of the East, though.
Yeah, the worst part about being king is everybody's got a target on your back. So nobody really looks for the second guy in command. So you know what? Maybe.
Emperor, there's a strange red dot on your forehead.
Yeah. Glad it's
glowing.
not on mine. So much for the serious topics for tonight, I guess.
So what have you guys been up to today? Just kind of chilling, relaxing?
Oh, I hang out with my little guy, and he went down for a late nap, but no, mostly getting ready for spring cleaning right now.
Oh, fun.
Because I don't think we're gonna get any more snow here, man. So no more snowmobiling. I think I'm just gonna pack
Don't
her
let
away.
Mother Nature hear you. She'll pound you.
I hope you hear me. I'm gonna break out my shorts.
Did you see
want to do that here? It's minus
falling?
17.
What's that? Sorry.
Snowflakes are going to start falling the minute you put them shorts on.
Well, I also got my fucking helmet ready to go too. So no worries there. But yeah, I think I'm going to shut this down pretty quick here. And, I want to thank everybody for coming. And I know this kind of trailed off again in the end, but I like to do that sometimes too. And
I just wanted to hop in and give you some shit. That's all.
I know, brother. But yeah, we should definitely all get together again soon. And like I said, I kind of want to focus more on everything but the COVID thing, obviously, because I think we've finally come to grasp with the fact that this shit is just a big load of crock.
It is.
It is.
Oh, you went this whole stream right to the end, only have it cut.
Oh, there we go. Censored.
Yeah.
Censor.
That's happened.
I'm pretty
to me.
sure I
I've had
got
something blocked for the
bacon
last
stream
2
cut
minutes.
last night.
Well, that last stream I did where it was just the tip, that one took like 5 hours to load up to where I could view it.
Jeez.
And usually everything else will go right into the fucking front of the line. And yeah, even the one video that I made in the car on the way here, I made it and tried to post it right after I got home. And it was held until that night.
For processing.
Yeah.
So, like, we have to run it through the thing that listens to all the words, and we have to run it through the other program that looks at all the pictures.
They're watching you.
Oh, yeah.
You know why it's taking so long, right?
Because they're watching me?
Because you haven't paid Susan a visit for a while and buttered her livers.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Susan, if you're listening, sweetie, hi. How you doing? How you doing, gal?
I think half of my subs are YouTube bots checking my shit.
Well, that's possible too.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we put out a new video. Let's go and fucking check it.
Hey, man. It is what it is. They do what they want to do. Like I said, I'm getting set up for Rumble, so... Although I don't think I've gotten one sub since I've been there, so obviously nobody's listening. It is what it is. But anyway, gentlemen, I think I've had enough for one night, and I will definitely be looking for some more for this week here. I'd like to do a Sunday Valentine's Day stream.
Oh.
You mean International MGTOW Day?
Yeah, International MGTOW Day, baby. Yeah! That would be fucking awesome. Be like, hey guys, what are you doing tonight? Hey.
Not fucking watching Westworld and getting high. Woohoo!
Roses are red, violets are blue. My life is so much better here without you.
There we go.
We could have poetry and everything. Billy, you got to come and put that one in. Absolutely. But yeah, so Sunday night, I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to try to get it up for around... I guess I'm going to try for like 5 o'clock. And we can go from there.
Just pop your vitamin V, you'll be all right.
Oh, yeah, totally. Oh, is Valentine's Day Monday?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I don't know, man. I don't pay attention to that shit.
The days all blend together anymore.
Yeah.
Fuck that Happy Big Towsies.
It's like Groundhog Day every day.
Well, I might still be able to do Monday. But that would be awesome, I think, personally. But I have a sick attitude, so...
Sick attitude, I like the sound of that.
Yep. I don't know. Are you guys interested?
Sure. Don't let Susan give you the itchy scratchy tomorrow night.
Oh, shit.
Oh, God.
The herp goddess of AIDS.
Oh, God.
The Ebola AIDS. That's the one where you bleed out of your eyes.
Susan's the gift that keeps on giving.
Oh, buddy. There's a whole lot of that shit going on.
Cream-resistant herpes.
We've got 2 new cases. We've got Ebola over here in the UK. That hasn't been around for decades. Apparently, it's reared its ugly head.
Well, I should have warned you about that a couple years ago. because that's
The
what they
only
were
plus
looking
side to
at.
that is it burns out quick.
Well, it's
Kills its
also
host too quick.
yeah, kills its host.
They
That's
haven't
the problem.
perfected it yet. It's one of the ones that
leave
they were
it-
talking about bringing back. So there you go. Now you're seeing
Leave
it.
it to the originators of the Wuhan surprise. They'll figure it out.
Oh, absolutely.
I wasn't surprised at all.
All right, gentlemen. I think we've lost a manly load. He's gone.
He does
Probably.
that to me too. It's okay.
He's probably blacked out. So I'll
Yeah.
just put him
Probably.
back in the room there.
Blacked out. He doesn't even know where he is.
Hey, that's a good place to be nowadays.
Yeah.
Where am I?
All right. Closing thoughts. Mr. Billy the Goat. You, sir.
I've already given like closing thoughts 2 or 3 times.
Have you? Have I done this 3 times?
No,
Riggs,
in the last 5 minutes.
Riggs, this is your fault. I'm going to have to watch my own stream now just to fucking make sure I heard what he said. Well, thank you, Billy, for your for your 3rd time around closing thought.
That is my closing thought right there. Yeah.
Yeah. Amen, brother. And I want to thank you for coming, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I know I've been trying to get you guys on for a while, and I finally talked to you. Well, I talked to Manly Load into it, but, you followed along too, so that's great.
Yeah. The universe, I don't know. It, whatever. Addiction. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Streaming addiction.
Oh. I don't think I'm going to do any masturbating to this.
Totally different addiction altogether.
Oh, yeah. Oh, all right. MGTOW.tv or MGTV.
Just anybody looking to find me. I usually stream on Fridays. Do the Friday night. Sorry, not Friday night, but 4-letter Friday. And that's 10 p.m. Eastern on my channel, which is youtube.com/c/mgtv1. See you there. I was kind of lonely last night. I only had a couple people on, so anybody wants to come in, I usually have an open panel every Friday.
Nice. Well, I can come and harass you for a bit.
It's always welcome, buddy.
Well, as Emperor, though, I want main speaking privileges. Billy, I know you and Manly were doing things with Red Pill and the Wind and Yam and them, but I guess that's pretty much over now, or what's the deal there?
Well, that's Sunday night. So tomorrow, less than 24 hours. The Bleeding Edge. Yeah, still going. Sunday nights.
I've never been invited. I've always just caught wind when he was all alone because everybody didn't show up. I'm feeling a little hurt. I'm a little hurt on the inside, but I still respect you guys a whole lot, so that counts.
Much appreciated. It's not really. I don't really run it, so say hi in the chat, and I don't know. Maybe Tico will add you on there or something.
No, if Tico doesn't love me enough, then I don't care. No, they're great guys, and they go over some stuff that's pretty deep. So I appreciate them a lot. And yeah, I'll say a big thanks to Manly Load for coming on. You can find him, I think, at a Manly Reloaded now, because I think he's passed out unless he's back. Manly, are you back? No, he's not back. So if he ever does come back, you can always put your links, guys, in the chat, the one that stays with the video, because nobody sees the live streams chat at the end.
Oh, okay.
Because that just goes away. But if you want to add them to the actual chat, I think I've told the guys that are doing wrenching that to not remove them unless it's like obviously a Russian bot or something.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but everything else is pretty much there. And yeah, thanks to everybody for showing up. And guys, we're gonna end this stream right here. Have a good night.